This is Lambeau Field in Green Bay, where today one of the oldest rivalries in the National Football League, the Chicago Bears against the Green Bay Packers, is renewed for the 116th time. Both teams coming in here with 2-4 records. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender, and alongside me, a young man who played in 20 of these Bear and Packer games is Johnny Morris. And, Johnny, there's something special about this rivalry.
Oh, there certainly is. First, I'd like to say that I think we look better down the field than we do up here. But it is something special. 1921, before Prohibition even began, the Bears and Packers were playing football. It's always a special game for these players, and I'm sure it's going to be that way today.
We expect to see a lot of Walter Payton. He's going to be a busy young man.
Yes, as you know, he leads the NFL in rushing with 653 yards, I should say. He's all over the place, and I wouldn't be surprised if he carries 30 times today. The Bears are going to try and run the ball down the Packers' throat, and we'll see what happens.
On the other hand, the Packers feel they have the quarterback in the future in Lynn Dickey.
Lynn Dickey is Bart Starr's man. He completed 11 of 15 last week, had a good game against Tampa. He's 6'4", 215 pounds. He's Bart Starr's kind of quarterback. He says he likes him, and he's going to give Mr. Dickey a chance all year.
All right, 2-4. These two clubs come in here. John, if you have any playoff hopes, you've got to win today.
I would say so. Even though the Vikings have shown some signs of weakness, you go in 2-4, come out of this game at a 2-5 record, your chances are pretty slim of winning the division. So the two teams are both 2-4. One of them is going to be out of it after this game.
We might say that the Packers without Will Harrell today. He's not dressed because of an injury.
They don't have a lot of exciting, explosive runners, the speedballs, and Harrell was one of them, and he's not playing, so that hurts the Packers. They do have Odom, who is a long bomb threat, but the Packers got to be hurting without Harrell.
Okay, John, we're ready to get this game started. Let's go to the field now. As kicking off is going to be the Packers. Pat Haggerty will be working the game today. Al Conway, Walt Peters, Bob Beeks, Jim Poole, and Bob Lewis. The men in charge of this 116th meeting between the Packers and the Bears. Chester Marcole will be kicking off. Back deep, a young man who last week returned to kick off 84 yards for a touchdown against Atlanta, Brian Weischnagel, the former Ohio State standout. What a rivalry this is, and Marcole is ready. He hits it down the middle, and Weischnagel's got it at the 10, 15, 20, 25. Weischnagel out to the 32-yard line. Brian Weischnagel to the 32-yard line, and flying up was Herb McMath, number 61 for the Packers to make the stop. So Chicago expected to run the ball right at the Green Bay Packers. They are running the ball very, very effectively. They're third in the NFC in rushing, fourth overall. There's that offensive line. Albrecht, the number 1 draft pick from California. Jackson, Piper, Sorey, and Lick up front. Bob Avellini, the quarterback. Walter Payton and Roland Harper, the running backs from the 32. This is Roland Harper, 35, 40, and Harper's got a first down out to the 45-yard line. Mike McCoy, the right side cornerback, coming up to make the stop. And Harper, who comes in here 12th in the NFC in rushing, starts out rather auspiciously for the Chicago Bears.
Yes, he did, and Walter Payton was the man who threw the key block for the Bears on that play as Harper got the big yardage. You look at the Bear receivers, Rather, Scott, and Latta.
There's Bob Avellini. What a gutsy quarterback he has been. Roland Harper and Walter Payton. That was a 13-yard pickup on the play. First down to the 46. Bob Avellini giving off to Payton, leading the NFL in rushing, and Payton across the midfield stripe to the 48-yard line of Green Bay. Payton coming in here, as John said at the top of the show, 653 yards. Jim Carter, Johnny Gray coming up to combine on the tackle. It's going to bring up a second down and 5 as Payton picks up 5 yards. There defensively is that forward wall. Thus far, 23 sacks. Butler, Roller, Purifoy. Toner replacing Gary Weaver, who's out for the year. Jim Carter and Fred Carr, the linebackers. Second down, 5. Payton, and Payton's got the first down. Look at him run across the 40 to the 35, and Payton's all the way inside the 30-yard line. First down, Luke and McCoy making the stop, and Walter Payton, who may carry the ball 30 times before the day is over, is impressive.
And he never quits running. Watch this play. There's a big hole. Harper with the block on Carter. You'll see Weischnagel came across to throw his block, and then Payton busts out of a tackle. James Scott trying to throw, and Walter Payton, you have got to get him with 2 arms and about 5 guys to bring him down. The Bears are running the ball, no doubt about it.
I tell you, John, Payton just won't give up at all. He ran over Buchanan on that play. A 19-yard pickup. First down inside the 30. This is Payton again. And this time, Payton is close to the 25-yard line. Middle linebacker Jim Carter coming off of 2 seasons of injury. making the tackle for the green and gold. The ball just short of the 25, where it's going to bring up second down, still 6 yards to go. I'll tell you, this Chicago Bear offensive line has come together so quickly, Johnny Morris. They're young, and they're going to get better.
They are a very young team. Most of them are second and third year men, but the same thing applies to the Packers on defense. They got a lot of young people in the defensive line.
Second down, 6. This is Johnny Musso, the former Alabama standout. And Jack Pardee told us he was going to use Musso quite a bit today. And he is to the 21-yard line before his forward progress is stopped. Chuck Bradley, a tight end, number 81, comes in with the play information from the far side of the field. James Scott, who comes into this game third in the NFC in receiving, has checked out at this juncture. Avellini is leading the NFC in touchdown passes with 7. He has thrown 8 interceptions. Third down and a long one to go. Musso and Payton, the running backs. Bob Avellini off to Payton, and Payton's got the first down and then some. He's to the 16-yard line, and Johnny Gray, the fine free safety for the Packers, flying up to make the stop. And that offensive line really opening some holes.
They are, and you know, the Packer defensive line has really improved on sacks on rushing the passer, and I think this is one reason the Bears are taking the ball on the ground, trying to run at these defensive linemen that are so good at rushing the passer, and you can neutralize a pass rush for later in the game if you can run at them here and get them to be tentative. So far, the Bears are doing that.
At the 17-yard line, first down, Chicago. Avellini, Musso to the 15, 14, and fights his way to the 13-yard line. I want to remind everybody this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Green Bay Packers and the National Football League is prohibited. Second down now and 6 yards to go.
And you know, they haven't had an empty seat in this stadium since 1959.
What a rivalry. Here it goes to Walter Payton trying to swing wide. He's in trouble. Tom Toner's there. He gets away from him, and flags have been thrown everywhere. Steve Luke coming up, forced to play very well. Toner also. Let's see what the flags are all about.
Okay, you can see Musso leading the way as Payton goes for the end, but the Packers got penetration, knocking Reeve Sorry off stride. He couldn't get out, and then Toner came across, and he was enough to hold Payton up for a moment, and then the Packer pursuit. And you can see about 6 Green Bay Packers there. Great pursuit by the Packers on that play.
A penalty going against the Chicago Bears. Pat Haggerty, our official, getting everything decided down below. Steve Luke really made that play, Johnny. He came up and forced the issue in a hurry.
And we've got Toner in there. As you know, Weaver is out. He has a bad knee, so Toner is a little bit on the spot. He's got to fill a gap.
Foul. Clipping, number 62, offense.
Clipping call, that would be Dan Jiggets, who is a backup. There's Bart Starr, Ert Gustafson, Dave Hanner, the defensive coordinator, assistant head coach. It's going to bring up now second down. 21 yards to go. A draw up the middle to Walter Payton, and Payton getting some of that yardage back inside the 25-yard line. This time it was Carr and Toner, the 2 outside linebackers, coming up to make the tackle. Bart Starr's young offensive team hasn't been able to move the ball, but his young defensive team, you see the earmarks of something happening.
Well, to be honest, as you know, the Packers started a couple of years ago almost from scratch. They were devoid of draft choices, and Bart Starr only has 13, 14 players left from when he took over the team, and that's a big transition. It's going to take him a little while.
12 of the 13 draft choices made this year's team. Third down, 15 yards to go. Avellini looking to throw. He's got time in the end zone. McCoy. Mike McCoy intercepts at the 1-yard line. Mike McCoy, his second interception of the year. And at the 1, the Packers take over.
Well, this was a case of Avellini throwing a little bit too late. He made his decision late as the Packers put on a little pressure, but nobody broke open. And finally he throws the ball, and Bashnagle had been open, but the coverage was there, and McCoy made the interception. And good defense by the Packers stopping the Bears on the first drive. That's got to be key for them. Got to be key. They got the ball back, and no points scored against them. However, they can't afford a mistake.
So an interception by McCoy. The Packers have it at the 1-yard line. We have no score with 10:26 to go first quarter. The Packers in a very precarious situation after Mike McCoy, with his second interception of the day, stopped the first drive of the game. The ball at the 1-yard line. Eric Torkelson and Barty Smith, the running backs behind Lynn Dickey. Dickey actually inside that 1-yard line. This is Torkelson, and he's close to being tackled for a safety. Very, very close. Torkelson just did get back into the playing field that time.
Well, that's the chance you take, Gary. They're running off tackle there instead of something straight ahead, either a QB sneak or a dive. And when you run off tackle and slant, there's a chance that somebody can come through. And sure enough, there was Rydalch there and Don Reeves, 57, both to make the tackle. And he was right up over that goal line. It was very close.
Well, you can see the football almost touching the goal line. Second and virtually 10 yards to go. Dickey this time to Barty Smith, and Smith gets a yard, and that's all. Looked like he had some running room, and all of a sudden, Billy Newsome, a veteran, former Baltimore Colts standout, picked up from Buffalo this year, closed in, and now it's third down, and still 10 yards to go.
Well, that time at least they ran a straight-ahead play and got out a yard or so. Now, what do you do? What do you call in this kind of a situation on your own 2-yard line?
Look at them. They're huddled about as far back as they can get. In fact, the back of that huddle is out of the field of play. Third down, 10 yards to go. The Packers would like to get some breathing room. We're looking at Eric Torkelson, number 26. A give to Barty Smith, and Smith hammers it out, but it's going to bring up fourth down as Doug Plank flying up from the safety spot to make the tackle. And now on fourth down, the second leading punter in the National Football Conference, David Beverly, with a 42.6 average, is going to kick under some pretty tough circumstances.
Yes, Gary, he's going to be back at the very back of the end zone, and he's going to have to hurry and get it off. The Bears will probably try some kind of a punt rush.
Back deep we have Lynn Walderscheid and Steve Schubert as a twin safety. Beverly, if he'd step out of the back, he would have a safety called on him. No score, 8.5 minutes left to go, first quarter. He's got time, and he hits it high. Coming over is Schubert. He's got it to 45, to the 40. And Schubert brings it back out to the 36. There's a flag on the play. So they came out of there in reasonably good shape under some very tough circumstances. A 42-yard kick that time by Beverly, kicking it deep from his own end zone. But the penalty, now they're discussing that, it's going to be clipping against Chicago. So the Bears will be backed up even further, and you got to say the Packers came out of that remarkably well.
To put it bluntly, they came out smelling like a rose. They're going to be back in their own territory. The Bears will have it on their own 45-yard line, and they had the Packers backed up to their own 2. So pretty good exchange for Green Bay.
Number 59 on the run back.
That would be Gary Campbell, the former Colorado standout, guilty of clipping. So the ball moved back to the 45. And we're going to see if we can pick up that clip on a replay.
There it is. Campbell, 59 at the bottom of your screen as he hit Bob Barber from behind.
So from the 45, the Bears had their other drive stalled at the 1. Start again. Here's Musso, and Musso across the 50, 45, and Johnny Musso to the 42-yard line, first down Chicago. Carter and Gray combining on the stop, and Chicago's running the ball effectively.
And watch the influence. Watch 77. As Butler went out and just almost created the hole for Johnny Musso to come through, and finally Toner gets a hold of him, but Musso scraps before 2 or 3 Packers bring him down, including Carr and Carter.
13-yard game. You know, coming in here, Musso had carried the ball only 4 times for 7 yards, and already he's got 22 yards today. First down from the 42. Avellini to Payton, and Tom Toner rising down for a 2-yard pickup of the 40-yard line. Tom Toner trying to fill the shoes of Gary Weaver, who's out for the year. Toner, a 6th-round draft pick out of Idaho State, is going to bring up second down and 8 from the 40. Chicago coming in here with a leading rusher in the NFL in Walter Payton. Harper, 12th. They're 3rd in the NFC in rushing. On the other hand, Green Bay, that's been their big problem, rushing the ball. In fact, the first 4 games, they didn't rush for 100 yards combined total. Second and 8. Avellini, pressure put on, gets it off to Latta, the big tight end, Greg Latta to the 35, the 30, 25, and the big guy moves the ball down to the 20-yard line. Johnny Gray rammed him out, and Greg Latta, who can run for a big man.
That was a tight end screen, and you'll see number 70, Dennis Lick, is the man who does the job. The right tackle as Latta comes out, and there comes the 2-man screen for the Bears, and there's Dennis Lick throwing his block against Gray. And then down the sidelines goes Latta, and finally knocked out of bounds by Gray.
Good recovery by Johnny Gray, staying with the play, but it's a first down to the 20. That was a 21-yard pass completion to Greg Latta. Avellini to Walter Payton. And Payton inside the 20 to the 17. Fred Carr, the right side linebacker, making the stop. And right now, Chicago is impressive.
Fred Carr was impressive on that one, too, Gary. Carr came off his weak side linebacker spot and prevented that from going for 10 or 12 yards. Caught it from the side. He's got extreme quickness. Carr's done a good job. He's played, I think, 132 straight games for the Packers in the past 9 or 10 years. As you look at Bart Starr and Zeke Brodkowski, who send the plays in for the Packers.
Second down now from the 17. Avellini. Latta. And Latta is dropped at the 11-yard line. Good reaction that time by Steve Luke, the strong safety. This was part of the game plan that the Packers expected, that they would throw to Latta a lot.
Latta and the Bears may throw to the backs quite a bit. As you look at Jack Pardee, who needs a victory very bad, 2-4. Of course, Bart Starr's in the same situation, although more people thought that the Bears had a chance to win the division than they did the Packers. Packers are rebuilding, as are the Bears, but the Bears had a pretty good year last year, 7-7.
Latta now with 2 catches has 17 for the year. Third down, 2 yards to go. And firing off is Noah Jackson, the left side guard. Let's see exactly what happened. It's going to be 5 yards against Chicago. Chicago's had some penalty problems, which brings up a point, Johnny. They have been penalized a lot this year.
Many more times than the Packers. The Bears have 49 penalties this year. The Packers only 30. As Dave Roller comes in, Roller was saying he's the man who tipped out some of the clippings of Don Reeves last week.
Start. Number 65. Offense.
As you heard the penalty there, but Reeves made some quotes that the Bears should beat the Packers with no problems, and it was all over the Packer locker room. So we'll see how that works out.
It's now 3rd and 7. Walter Payton. And Payton to the 5, and Walter Payton finally run out of bounds there. He has a 1st and goal now for the Bears. The quickness of Walter Payton.
Now you see why Walter Payton is one of the best. You see a good block by Musso. Watch Scott. Right there, 89 kicked his man in. There's the block right there by Scott as Payton dips to the outside, and 24 Gray finally knocks him out of bounds, but not before the Bears get down to the 5.5-yard line.
Would you believe that Walter Payton already has 53 yards and 8 carries? He's headed for a big day at this rate. 1st and goal now at the 5. Musso gets a yard, maybe 2, inside the 5. Johnny Gray's been making a lot of tackles in the early going. Steve Luke and Johnny Gray for the Packers call themselves the Hit Brothers. They will hit you.
They can hit some people. They took care of Burrow down in Houston on one shot. They really got him. They can hit.
2nd and goal now at the 4. 2 tight ends now for the Bears. Latta and Chuck Bradley, who they picked up as a free agent back in September from San Diego. Bradley is 81. Bob Avellini, a 2nd and goal to 4. Avellini to Musso, and he is very close. He's in for the touchdown. Johnny Musso scoring his 1st touchdown of the season. Cracks in, and the Bears take a 6-0 lead.
And the Bears are simply hitting people. You watch Noah Jackson and Walter Payton block as they take Luke out of the play, and then Musso cuts back behind the block and just drives up and over for the touchdown. The Bears are on the board. Now watch 34 and 65 as they double team. Out goes Luke, in cuts Musso for the touchdown. Good, simple, fundamental blocking by the Bears. They're really hitting.
Bob Thomas to attempt the point after Brian Baschnagel to hold. 5:34 to go, 1st quarter. High snap, and he's going to have trouble. Here is Baschnagel trying to salvage the play, but to no avail. So they just didn't get the ball down. It was snapped high. Baschnagel tried to get it placed. He could not. Let's look again and see just how high the snap was.
It was fairly high, which has to destroy the timing. As he reaches up, juggles it momentarily, and there was no chance. A good decision not to kick it, but Baschnagel could not take it over. The Bears settled for a 6-0 lead over Green Bay.
The Chicago Bears with a 6-0 lead, a 55-yard drive in 8 plays, a 4-yard run. And this Bear team's impressive in the 1st quarter.
And a very important game. Minnesota and Atlanta are tied 7-7 in the 2nd quarter. As you know, the Vikings are 4-2 going in.
I'll tell you, Atlanta's the surprise of the year. A kick to the far side of the field. It's going to be short, picked up now by Steve Wagner, and Wagner brings it out to the 30-yard line and is able to carry tacklers with him to the 32. Wagner, the second-year man out of the University of Wisconsin, and at the 32 now, the best field position the Packers have had. They trail 6-0.
And Gary, as you know, a couple of games ago, Bart Starr started calling the plays. They, of course, come from upstairs down through Bart Starr and Zeke Redkowski and signaled out to Lynn Dickey. And he felt that he wanted to take a lot of the pressure off of Dickey of having to call the plays and just do the mechanics. And so far, he feels it's working out pretty well.
Torkelson and Barty Smith, the running backs. Ollie Smith to the bottom of the screen. Back to throw. Lynn Dickey. He's got time. This is Ollie Smith. Smith can't hang on at the 45-yard line. John, that brings up a point. You and I were discussing this before the game. You feel like a lot of receivers don't use their body like they should to catch passes. They try to hand catch too many.
I think that has become a tendency in the NFL the past few years. That they say a ball is up about your face level, to stick your hands up and catch it rather than take that little leap and catch it in the breadbasket. And I think that's one reason you see that all around the NFL there are more drop passes the past few years.
All right, 2nd and 10 from the 32-yard line. 5:20 to go, first quarter. Chicago 6, Green Bay nothing. Dickey, fumble by Torkelson. Torkelson fortunately got it to come back to him, and he gets back about a yard short of the line of scrimmage. Doug Buffone making the tackle. Hey, they tell me Buffone may be playing as well as he's ever played.
And he still has those high-top shoes on. Watch Torkelson. He actually, that ball took a nice bounce right back up to him very alertly. Headed back the other way, but the Bear pursuit wasn't as good as it should have been. and there were Bears back there on the other side waiting for him.
Well, they actually lost about a half yard on that play. 3rd down, let's make it 10.5 to go. Last week, Torkelson had 73 yards rushing. That's the best output of any back for the Packers this year. Now they come out with only one set running back. 3rd down, a little more than 10. Here's Dickey again. Look out. Near side, Ollie Smith. And Ollie Smith got it for the first down. Ollie Smith with his 6th catch of the year. Virgil Livers defending on the play. And on a 3rd down, Lynn Dickey converts it.
And the Bears were putting pressure on with a blitz. Dickey held his ground. Here came the blitz. He took his punishment, got the pass off, and it was right on the money to Ollie Smith. Good play by the Packers.
Ollie Smith out of Tennessee State. He was acquired for a number 12 round draft pick from the Oakland Raiders. And this young man who caught 20 passes last year, they're high on him. First down now, just across the 45. Dickey up to big Barty Smith, and Barty Smith's got some running room. He crosses the midfield, straight to the 47. Don Reeves, and you mentioned Don Reeves. I saw clippings of Don Reeves all over Green Bay this week.
Well, they made a big thing out of it. Of course, Don Reeves got a little frustrated and rapped the Bear fans and said the Bears were a lot better than the Packers. And really a good guy. He just said a lot of things that got carried away. And we'll see if it affects the Packers. So far, the Bears seem to be the team that are up.
2nd down, 3. A pickup of 7 by Barty Smith. This is Barty Smith again, and he's got a first down. The former Richmond standout at 6'4", 240 pounds, running behind the block of Larry McCarron.
Good blocking by McCarron as you watch Torkelson and Barty Smith. McCarron gets on Don Reeves, 57, 54 on 57, and pushes him back as Barty Smith just bulls through for a first down. Good fundamental blocking by the Packers, and especially McCarron, the center, who got the game ball last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Bart Starr is very high on him. He thinks he may be the most improved lineman. From the 42, first down, Green Bay. Lynn Dickey, play action. And Ollie Smith, the intended receiver, but nothing doing. As that time, the pressure made Dickey change things in that backfield. You know, the Packers are known as a blitzing team, but we see the Bears coming after him today.
Well, the Bears have got to do a few things because they don't have the pass rush that they did last year. They had so many sacks last year, and they're not getting them this year. Wally Chambers is not playing very much because of the bad knee, so they've been trying to make up for it. As you see that 7-7 Minnesota-Atlanta score with some blitzes. The Packers blitzed a lot last week, but they haven't blitzed that much throughout the season.
So they come to a 2nd and 10 from the 42. Dickey again to throw. Here comes the blitz. Newsom after him, and Newsom got him. Billy Newsom with one big arm just dragged him down back at the 46-yard line. That time, Mark Concar having a tough time holding the veteran end out.
Everybody came for the Bears that time. Watch the bottom of your screen. as Newsom got by Mark Concourse 79, and down went Dickey with no chance. Good rush by Billy Newsom, whom the Bears picked up very late in the preseason and brought him in. Has done a fine job.
He was a member of that Super Bowl championship team in Baltimore. That was a 12-yard loss on the play. 3rd and 22 from the 46 of Green Bay. Dickey got protection, a flag on the play, and Ollie Smith tried to make the catch at the 40-yard line, but to no avail. But a flag thrown in the vicinity where you anticipate a holding call. And that's what it's going to be, holding against Green Bay.
The Bears had 5 defensive backs in. In fact, the Packers will sometimes come with 6, but the Bears had 5 backs in, and it's really tough to throw down the field on them. You got to throw short and under.
Offense, decline, 4th down.
71 was Mel Jackson guilty of holding. That'll bring up 4th down. They're going to decline the penalty. They want the football, and Beverly will kick from the 31. 2:50 to go, first quarter. Chicago 6, Green Bay nothing. Walderscheid and Schubert back deep for the Bears at the 15-yard line. High snap. Beverly kicking it to the far side. Coming away with it, Walderscheid. And Walderscheid up to the 35-yard line. Chicago with the football as Bert Aston was over there to make the stop for the Green Bay Packers. There's our score before a sellout crowd here in Lambeau Field. The Bears leading the Packers 6-0.
Sunday, the fun starts at the grand opening of Archie's Tavern as the help walks out and the family fills in for a bubbling highball of hilarity. Sunday at 9, 8th Central and Mountain.
This is Lynn Dickey wanting to get a shot at that football once again. A 32-yard kick by Beverly. The Bears have the ball just across their own 35-yard line. Musso and Payton, the running backs, behind Avellini. This is Johnny Musso. He's in trouble as Mike Butler had a hold of him. He got away from him, but he got only about a yard, and that's all. And Mike Butler is quite a story. Their #1 draft pick out of Kansas. Big, isn't he?
He's going to be something else. And there's a score. Washington 20, Philadelphia 10. You think the Redskins don't need a victory? The Redskins right now are 3-3 in the Eastern Division. Dallas 6-0. And there's Cincinnati 7-0 over Houston.
From the 36, a gain of a half yard. Up the middle, here comes Payton. To the 45, he may go. He's to the 35, the 30. Walter Payton is cut off. Just outside the 5-yard line. As coming over there in a hurry was Willie Buchanan. And Walter Payton just lightning quick in the secondary.
And Tom Toner missed the tackle. 59 is the man that had to get him. He was the one to fill the hole. He gets these arms on him, but Payton is so elusive. He just broke away and then turned on the speed, and finally it was a foot race. He pinned him in the corner, and Buchanan knocked him out of bounds. But Walter Payton he's got to be pushing 100 yards already.
Well, that was a 58-yard run, and you're absolutely right, John. He has 111 yards and 9 carries. He may have some day. We still have 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Walter Payton, boy, he's had 13 100-yard days. He just now registered his 14th of his career. What a career he's having. The ball just outside the 5, 1st and goal. Avellini, here comes Payton. And Payton is in for the touchdown.
Unbelievable. There's Noah Jackson giving a little tap on the head, number 65. It was simply extra effort by Walter Payton. That's why he's the best in the NFL there is today. Watch him as Musso leads the way. Now he's going to get hit a couple of times. It goes up and over, and then the contact is made here by Gray, and then he just drags 2 or 3 Packers in, including McCoy, Gray, and Carr, into the end zone. He is unbelievable, that's all.
12-0 now. The Packers trail Chicago. Musso with a 4-yard run, and now Walter Payton with a 5-yard run. Eichenagel the hole. Bob Thomas this time has the placement up and through the upright. And the Chicago Bears, there's a flag on the play at the 6-yard line. Right now have a 13-0 lead, as Pat Haggerty indicating a penalty, illegal procedure against Chicago. So they're going to have to try it again. We'll hold it right here with 1:58 left to go in the first quarter. You know, the thing about Payton on that last run, he is tough inside, but he can go outside. He can block. We saw him block earlier. There's nothing he can't do well.
That's correct, and he's not considered a real big back. He's about 5'10", but he's put together well, 205 pounds. If there ever was a back that could run without blocking, no back runs without any blocking, but if he does it sometimes without blocking.
All right, we're going to try it again after the 5-yard penalty. Thomas boots this one up. Practice makes perfect, and he got this one too. So now it's 13-0. The Chicago Bears with the lead. 1 minute, 58 seconds left to go in this first quarter of play. Peyton with 117 yards. The Chicago Bears leading 13-0. That only took 3 plays. 43 seconds to score. The reason was a 58-yard run by Peyton. He eventually scored. He now has 117 yards and 10 carries.
And remember what Bart told us yesterday? He said if we can stop Peyton, we got a chance.
Boy, they're in trouble right now the way things are going. Ball bouncing around, picked up. Running the ball out is Jim Colbert. And the Oklahoma rookie brings the ball outside the 25 to the 27-yard line. So the Packers, who had been moving the ball in the last possession, now trailing 13-0. It's been all Walter Payton. There's some other scores. Washington leading the Eagles. That's a big game in that Eastern Division of the NFC.
Los Angeles over New Orleans 7-3 in the first quarter.
Bo Rather was shaken up on that last play. That's why the delay in the action right now. Rather being helped off by Steve Schubert. He walks off a little shaken as he goes to the Bear bench. The ball at the 27 now. Torkelson, Barty Smith, the running backs. Dickey has Ollie Smith and Randy Vataha at the bottom of the screen as his wide receivers. A first down from the 27. Dickey gives off to Torkelson, and Torkelson is spinning his way, and he is hit by Doug Plank. Doug Buffone was hanging on, and Doug Plank finished him off at the 32-yard line.
You can see Bo Rather there on the bench was shaken up a little bit. It looks like somebody might have rung his bell. He's checking. You can see the trainer and doctor there checking figures for him to see if his senses are okay.
See if he can count the fingers, right?
That's right. 1, 2, 3.
Second down, 5. A pickup of 5 by Torkelson. Give to Barty Smith, and Barty Smith coming out close to the 35-yard line. Packers running the ball. They had a penalty that stymied a drive earlier. Rideouts, Don Rees making the tackle. Jack Pardee feels that Rideouts right now playing as well as anybody in that forward wall.
He's a good, steady pass rusher. He's not spectacular. Good, steady against the run, and he's been their most consistent. The Packers are in danger. You know, their record is only 2-4, but they've been in every game this year. So far, they're not in this game.
Bert Askeson has now committed a tight end along with Rich McGeorge on the short yardage, 3rd and 2. This is Barty Smith trying to get the first down, and he's got it. Good running effort by Barty Smith. They straightened him up, but he would not go down. Wayman Bryant and Doug Plank combining on the stop, but it's a first down for Green Bay. Barty Smith has battled back from a career of injuries. He came in as a rookie, hurt in the Coaches All-America game. Last year had knee problems. He's kept coming back, and now the starting fullback.
And I see Steve Odom is now in for Green Bay. Number
He's been their big
84.
play man. So they have 3 of them in there. Odom, Vataha, Ollie Smith. 3 wide receivers in on this play on a first down, and Odom can't get it. Steve Odom trying to turn around to the ball at the 47-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. Odom this year really has had some spectacular plays. A 95-yard touchdown against Minnesota, a 40-yard touchdown against New Orleans.
And here's a pass that is back behind him a little bit. He puts his hands up. Of course, that one was so quick he didn't have much chance to think there. But if it hits your hands and you miss it, it's going to go ricocheting right through. If it hits you down in the pads or in the stomach, you're going to hang on to the ball.
2nd down 10 from the 39. Dickey. With the protection, he hits Eric Torkelson, and Torkelson is fighting for that first down. I believe he got it. Don Rees wrestles him down, but Eric Torkelson fell forward for the first down at or above the 50-yard line. So that's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Chicago Bears 13, the Green Bay Packers nothing. As the Packers now, after an 11-yard pickup, trying to climb right back in to this football game. Lambeau Field. How's that for a move, huh, John?
That's speed.
That is quickness. That is quickness. All right, we start the second quarter. It's 13-0. Chicago The Packers just completed a pass for a first down. They're just short of the 50-yard line. Eric Torkelson, Barty Smith, the running backs. Ollie Smith and Vataha, the wide receivers for Lynn Dickey. Dickey off to Barty Smith, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage. Coming over that time was Reeves, the middle linebacker. He's the number 2 tackler on this team. Last year leading the Bears in tackles. Just across.
Excuse me, Gary. That time he got behind Mel Jackson was the pulling guard that time, and I watched him last week. He did a heck of a job on a lot of the pulling runs that the Packers did last week, and they got a lot of yards rushing. That time it didn't quite work, but we're going to take a look at Mel Jackson. He's impressive.
He's number 71 in the right guard position. We now have Nate Simpson in the running back field. He is the number 5 draft pick this year, and this is Nate Simpson. Simpson is not going to go anywhere because Wayman Bryant brought him down in a hurry. That Wayman Bryant, we were down on the field earlier. He is big, and can he move? They say he's 6'3", 239. He's got to be bigger than that, John.
He's at least that, and he's bigger than that. Plus, he has a lot of speed. Plus, he's wearing high tops. That's got to slow him down about 3/10 of a second.
That makes him look bigger, though. You know what?
That's right. It makes him look rougher. Doug Buffone, Wayman Bryant, both linebackers wear the high top shoes, which looks kind of antiquated, but a lot of people feel that it's still good for more support for the ankles.
It's 3rd and 12, and now the Packers again bring in 3 wide receivers. Vataha, Ollie Smith, and also Steve Odom. Smith and Nate Simpson, the running backs again. Dickey back to throw on 3rd and 12. And Barty Smith at the 49. Coverage that time by Mike Spivey as the Bears coming in with that 5th defensive back. 4th down, the Packers will have to kick.
And Len Dickey still looked good on that because he went forward in the pocket very nicely. There was a lot of heat by the Bears. He went forward and spotted his receiver, and he has the instincts. That's what Bart Starr is talking about. It's this plain 4-man rush where they do a little stunt crisscross between them. Dickey goes forward in the pocket and knows where his receiver was. Still a good play, even though it didn't work.
So now Beverly will kick from the 35 of Green Bay. Walderscheid and Schubert deep for Chicago. He hits a good one. Fair catch called for by Schubert. He makes it at the 15-yard line. So the Chicago Bears with a 13-0 lead and 13:28 to go before halftime have the football once again after a 38-yard kick by Beverly, who may have a long afternoon kicking the ball frequently.
Who has over?
Well, the Chicago Bears have the football once again, and Walter Payton and company have it just inside the 15-yard line. Payton with 117 yards already with 13.5 minutes to go in this first half. This is Johnny Musso instead, and Musso brings it out to the 19-yard line. Tom Toner making the tackle. Musso's seen a lot of playing time today after really being used very sparingly up to now.
He's had a 7-week rest since the exhibition season, and he's ready. One of the reasons is that Harper's a little bit banged up. Roland has been really banged around. As you look at Walter Payton, who already has 117 yards, 11.7 per carry. But Harper's been banged up, so Musso's getting a chance to play a little bit.
Have a change in the secondary for the Packers. Steve Wagner has replaced Steve Luke. 2nd down, 6. Quick pitch. Here comes Payton. Payton across the 25, the 30, and Payton all the way out to the 40-yard line.
And you
Tremendous
should watch
blocking.
the block, yes. Watch number 69, Reevy Sori, who will be leading on this play. He's going to hit Wagner, number 21. Dennis Lick is also pulling the right tackle. Now Payton comes from behind. Here comes Sori's block, 69. Down goes Wagner, and Payton takes advantage as Dennis Lick kicks his man out. A big hole. Good blocking by the Bears.
A 20-yard run by Payton. They mark the ball just short of the 39. Steve Luke now has come back into the ball game for Green Bay. Payton 137 yards. Avellini to Payton. Look at him jump around, would you? And he made a play that looked like a long loss into about a yard gain. Mike Butler and Steve Luke forced that play very well, and here shows the determination of Walter Payton.
And you have to have pursuit on Payton, as you're going to see here, as Butler came across to mess things up, and so Payton was driven to the outside. Toner misses, and there is Luke, who finally gets the tackle, but it could have been a 5-yard loss. He made yards out of it. But the Packers did pursue on that. Good pursuit by the interior line of the Packers.
Mike Butler crashing in, showing that strength at 6'5" and 270 pounds. 2nd down, virtually 9 yards to go from the 40. Avellini to Musso, and Johnny Musso hammers it out to the 45-yard line. Jim Gano in the lineup now at one of the linebacking spots, and Mike Butler makes the tackle at the 45-yard line. If this continues like this, Walter Payton may have a record day.
Well, a few weeks ago I said that Walter Payton's the kind of guy that could someday rush for 300 yards in a game if they carried enough times. This, who knows?
Well, right now 12 for 138 yards from the 45-yard line. Third down, 4 yards to go. Baschnagel the ball game. He's at the bottom of the screen. Avellini back to throw. He dumps it off, intended for Musso. Incomplete. Coverage pretty good that time. Clarence Williams, but also his big Mike Butler again storming through.
He's going to be something else. The Packers have a few. Whenever you build a defense, now I realize the Packer defense is not doing that well. The Bears are running the ball down their throats, but they've showed signs on defense. A good young defensive line. The guts of a defense. Any coach will tell you he'd rather have a good defensive line than he would linebackers or backs if he had to take one or the other. A defensive line is where you build a team. And that's where the Bears have had some problems this year, and they're trying to get that straightened out.
Bob Parsons with his first kick. Excuse me, John. Kicking from the 31-yard line. Johnny Gray is back deep. Parsons hits it very, very high. Gray coming up to make the fair catch if he can find some room, and does at the 22-yard line. So at the 22, Green Bay has the football. 11 minutes, 18 seconds to go before our halftime. Chicago 13, Green Bay nothing. 33-yard kick that time by Bob Parsons, and New England and the Jets. Boy, the Jets have been surprising.
They have 17-10 in the third.
From the 22, the Packers trailing 13-0. Ollie Smith, Randy Bataha, flanked to the bottom of the screen. Dickey gives off to Barty Smith, a flag on the play. Barty Smith to the 25-yard line, but flags going into the air. See number 71, Jackson, offside, and it's going to be against Chicago. So the Packers will take that. New England, the Jets, we gave you that score. We're keeping you posted. You said a while ago Cleveland is really playing well against Kansas City.
30-0 Cleveland over Kansas City in the second period. There's New Orleans. The Saints have a surprising lead over Los Angeles, 10-7.
Number 73, defense.
And there you see Cincinnati leading Houston 10-0. Cincinnati's 2-4. They've got to win a few ball games to get back in the race.
That offside was against Mike Hartenstein, the left side defensive end. First down, 5. Dickey giving off to Torkelson. Torkelson hurdling people just short of the 30-yard line. Boy, he was bent backwards on that play. Don Rees, the middle linebacker, making a lot of tackles in this first half of play. Just short of the 30. It's going to bring up now. Second down and still a long yard to go. The Packer forward wall, Dick Himes, the veteran, number 72, a 10-year man out of Oklahoma, or rather Ohio State. Jackson, second-year man from USC. McCarron, Knutson, Konkar up front. Second down, Barty Smith trying to get the first down, and he's very close. He comes out to the 32. Reeves and Reidelch combining on the tackle for Chicago. And it is a first down, Green Bay. The Packers have run the ball pretty well. But right now, trail 13-0 in this game. Torkelson with 8 yards. Smith with 24 and 8 carries.
Well, the Bears were 13th out of 14 teams in the NFC against the run.
Now from the 32-yard line. First down. Lynn Dickey, play action fake. Setting up the screen, Rich McGeorge, the tight end. He comes out to the 35, to the 37-yard line, and Doug Buffone dropped him there. He got a block that time from Steve Knutson, the third-year man from USC.
Steve Knutson did throw a good block here as they faked the run, and then the pass out here, but the Mel Jackson 71 hits Buffone up here in front. You can see, and missed the block, and Buffone makes the tackle afterwards. So the play was set up well. There was just one missed block, and it cost them a few yards, but they got some out of it.
They got 5 to be exact. 2nd and 5. Jeff Seavey now coming in defensively, replacing Mike Hartenstein for the Bears. 2nd and 5. This is Nate Simpson, their number 5 draft pick, and Simpson brings it out to 39. He's a young man out of Tennessee State. And it's going to bring up third down as Simpson trying to get to the far side. Simpson was waived at one time. He cleared the waivers. They brought him back. They've been moving him along very slowly, and now that Harrell's out of the lineup today, they're using his quickness.
Well, they miss a lot when they don't have Harrell in there because they have to have quickness to spice up that running game. Barty Smith and Eric Torkelson, good backs, but they're not speed backs. And you've got to be able to have some speed in that backfield.
3rd and 3 from the 39. Fataha at the bottom of the screen. Ollie Smith to the top. Dickey, look out. Here comes Hartenstein. He gets it off. Barty Smith can't make the catch. Reeves is over there to intimidate him a little bit, but Mike Hartenstein came through almost untouched on that play.
Young man out of Penn State who was benched a little bit at the top at the beginning of the season. You see him on a little crisscross there, and he gets through unmolested, and Dickey has to go on the run, and obviously that affected his pass. Barty Smith almost came up with a one-handed snazzy catch there, but no dice as Hartenstein put on the pressure.
Steve Schubert is the single safety for Chicago. Beverly to kick once again, this time from the 25-yard line. Beverly hits a spiraling kick. Schubert goes back to the 21. Getting to that wall. He is out to the 24-yard line. Askson is down there to make the tackle. Steve Wagner an assist on the play. And inside the 25, Chicago has the football. Steve Schubert earlier this year had a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown against the Detroit Lions. There's our score, 13-0. Beverly been very busy as we take a look now at Steve Schubert, number 85, and Jack Pardee and his staff. The team with a 13-0 lead. The Bears had the ball inside the 25. A 40-yard kick by Beverly. Here's Avellini off to Walter Payton. Jim Carter trying to corral him, but he can't, as Payton brings it out to the 30-yard line. And there was a one-on-one move that shows Payton at his very, very best.
Just like a quick screen, it's almost getting him out on the end, on an end run real quick, and he's got the ball. And he cuts back on Carter here and gets an extra 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 yards. And that's what the Bears will do with their wide receivers. With James Scott, who has not been a factor in this game, all of a sudden he may break one. But Payton has not been used as a pass receiver that much by the Bears, Gary.
Avellini now 3 of 5 for 32 yards in passing. 2nd down, 5. Avellini gives off to Walter Payton, and Payton just breaking tackle. Very close to the first down. Johnny Gray making his stop just short of the 35-yard line. Boy, you could see the upper body strength there. He just shed a guy up above.
He's got the strength, and the Packers have the fans. There is not one seat anywhere. I don't think you could get a cat in here.
Well, they haven't had a seat available since 1959. That goes back a way.
And it's got to be 60 degrees. They say 52, but fans, it's 60 up here in Green Bay the 1st of November.
You don't remember playing in this kind of weather, huh? Ezra Johnson is now checked in, the rookie right defensive end for Green Bay on a 3rd and a short yard. And Avellini's going to sneak for it, and he got it. Bob Avellini sneaking forward across the 35. Jim Carter making the tackle. Avellini a lot lighter this year, John, and a lot of people feel that's one of the reasons for his improved play.
He's been able to scramble a lot more this year. He's now calling his own plays as of about 3 games ago, and has been a big improvement. Except last week, the Bears made so many mistakes, turnovers, to literally give the game to Atlanta. And I think that's what they're trying to avoid today. A very conservative game plan so far. 1st
down, just across the 35. The sun peeking through here in Green Bay. Avellini to Walter Payton. Here he goes. Payton to the 45, the 50, and Walter Payton to the Green Bay 47-yard line. Carr and Gray finally catch up with him as he continues to pile up the yardage.
And watch the middle as the Packers are completely split right open by the blocks. Dennis Slick, Reevy Sorey there on a double team, taking 2 Packers out of it. Greg Latta downfield, 88, almost actually gets in the way of Walter. Walter says, "Get out of my way, I'm on my way." Finally, the Packers bring him down, but the line blocking was excellent. As you can see, Payton, as there is 69 and 70 with the blocks. 64, Ted Albrecht. 65, Noah Jackson.
Payton out of the lineup right now. Musso and Robin Earl, the rookie, in the game. And here comes that big fullback, and I mean big. He's 6'5", 247 pounds, and he's all of that.
He probably is the biggest back in the NFL, and I think that's the first time he has run the ball in the league season.
That's right. Dallas and Detroit. The Cowboys unbeaten and look like they may continue that way. The ball inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. 2nd down, 6 as Robin Earl, the number 3 draft pick out of the University of Washington, picking up 4 yards. Avellini to Earl, and the big guy doesn't get a lot of running room this time. Dave Roller made sure of that. Roller playing here with some problems with a calf muscle, a torn calf muscle. And here he comes, Walter Payton. He now has 159 yards and 14 carries. And we still have just inside 5 minutes to go in this first half.
If you figure that out mathematically, he'll end up with about 427 yards per time, a quarter and a half.
Isn't that something? The ball just short of the 42. Third down, 5. Payton back in, along with Musso. Eichschnagel to the bottom of the screen. Scott to the top of the screen. Avellini wants to throw. Pressure put on by Butler, and down he goes. Roller got him. A flag on the play. Butler came in. Roller collapsed in. And he goes down inside the 50-yard line. But a flag has been thrown, and it's going to be against Chicago. I believe holding.
Well, the Packers did what they do best. That's rush the passer. They have 23 sacks, but see, the Bears haven't been given much of a chance to rush the passer. They haven't thrown that much. Here comes the blitz. You see Roller, Purifoy coming through.
Holding.
And there's Roller to make the tackle.
Decline.
Right tackle, that would be Dennis Lick. He had 2 holding calls last week in that Atlanta game. So they're going to refuse the penalties, you might suspect, and the ball inside to the 48-yard line. And Bob Parsons with his second punt. Johnny Gray goes back. A 10-yard loss on that sack by Dave Roller. Parsons hits a fine kick. Gray at the 15-yard line. He didn't fair catch it, and he's bringing it out to the 20. Boy, he caught that ball with people coming after him. Mike Spivey out of the University of Colorado down to make the tackle. And at the 20-yard line, the Packers, trailing 13-0, have the football after a 36-yard kick. Rodrigo Valdez against Benny Briscoe, the number 1 and 2 ranked contenders in the middleweight division. This is Lynn Dickey off to Nate Simpson. Simpson brings it out to the 20, breaks tackles out to the 25. Nate Simpson getting some playing time after carrying the ball only 8 times previous to today. Rammed out of bounds. Over there was Jim Osborne. Going to be short of the 25 to the 24-yard line.
Real nice play by Simpson as he cut back behind the block. He did a nice job. Doug Buffon, 55, was out there. Watch 55. He knows they're coming after him after Simpson catches the ball. Simpson waits. Here comes Mayor McCarron, and he takes care of Buffon, and Simpson takes advantage of the block. Good play by the Packers.
They gain 4, 2nd and 6 at the 24. Smith to the bottom of the screen. Bataha at the top. Lynn Dickey, a little mix-up back there, and all kinds of problems for Nate Simpson. He collided with Dickey, and boy, that messes your timing up. Ron Rydalch was there to be sure he didn't go any further.
Now, they don't draw it on the board that way. I'm sure they'll look at that in the films and say, hey, let's do it this way.
Going to bring in now another defensive back on a 3rd and 6 as Spivey checks in. McGeorge is coming out, so the Packers will have 3 wide receivers in as Odom comes in with Smith and Bataha. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Dickey got some time, and Ollie Smith broken up by Virgil Livers. They say Livers is playing very well.
He's come on very strong the last couple of games. That pass had a better chance if it had been thrown more to the other side of Smith to let him a little bit more. They might have had a chance to make a completion there.
Well, Lynn Dickey now is 4 of 11 for 33 yards. And Beverly's going to kick once again, and Beverly has already kicked 4 times in this game. This will be his 5th kick from the 10-yard line. McCarron snaps the ball. Beverly hits a lazy kick. Coming over is Schubert at the 44. And Schubert brings it inside to the Packer 48-yard line. Steve Wagner flying over to make the stop.
33 yards on the punt. Tackle made by Steve Wagner, number 20.
Steve Wagner, outstanding special teams performer for the Packers. That was only a 33-yard kick. Hey, I want to remind everybody, every family has its differences, but wait until you watch the Battling Bonanos in action in tonight's edition of On Our Own, right after Rhoda, right here on CBS.
I watch it all the time.
Give up the middle. Here comes Payton. Walter Payton short of the 45-yard line. Fred Carr making the tackle. Walter Payton, before that last run, had 159 yards. Now, he had 160 yards the first game against Detroit, so he's coming on to his best day of the 1977 season.
And you have to wonder what the Packers are saying on the sidelines in devising a strategy to stop Walter Payton. Do they tell a middle linebacker, you go with Walter wherever he goes? Well, how do they adjust? They have got to adjust.
Well, he's had his best day now. He has 162 yards after the last carry. Play action by Avellini. Luke has got him. Steve Luke on a blitz from his safety spot hit Avellini from behind. Boy, you can get hurt in those kind of plays.
Oh, yes. It's Katie bar the door. Watch number 46 as he comes from the outside here. And Avellini doesn't even see him because he's coming from the blind side. But his arm was going forward, so it would not be a fumble. But the Packers came up with a little tricky blitz, and that's what, as you see Bart Starr saying to himself, that's the way we drew that one up. But Atlanta did that to the Bears last week and had success with it.
The Bears have protected quarterbacks very well. They allowed only 9 sacks coming into this game. Last year, line only 24, but the Packers showing their ability to rush the passer. Third down now, 7. Avellini back again. Pressure put on. Flag on the play. Baschnagel covered that time very well by Mike McCoy at the 31-yard line. But a flag throw just about the time the play developed. The illegal procedure against Chicago. You could see that time very good penetration by Dave Purifoy, who's playing his best football.
Well, ironically, in the last few minutes, the Bears have kind of played into the Packers' hands by starting to throw the ball more, and consequently that pass rush of
Illegal motion, left tackle, offense, decline. We have 4th down.
Now to finish my sentence, consequently you have the Packers looking better on defense because what they do best is what the Bears are running into.
So Johnny Gray will go back at the 10-yard line for this kick from Bob Parsons. Parsons coming in here 9th in the NFC in punting, just a little over a 39-yard average. Parsons hits a beauty. Gray's going to let it hit and hopes it makes it in, and it's not going to. It's going to take a bare bounce back out to the 4-yard line. Brian Baschnagel is down there to kill it. What a kick that time by Bob Parsons. He got exactly the kind of English he wanted to get on that one.
Well, that's the natural surface, regular good old grass. As far as the Bears were concerned, if that had been an artificial surface, it probably would have bounced much more one way or the another, so you never know how it's going to work out. The field is in excellent condition. On
the CBS Sports Spectacular, John, we're going to have the Washington, D.C. International Race from the Laurel Race Course in Maryland, the 26th running of this classic, and then the world's strongest man. They're going to throw an automobile tire, which weighs 35 pounds in weight, and that world's strongest man has been something to watch. First down, 10. Here comes Nate Simpson, and Simpson out to the 9-yard line. Pretty good run by the rookie. He's been impressive in this first half. Doug Flank there to make the tackle for Chicago. Just short of the 10-yard line, mark it at the 9.
Good pulling job by Steve Knutson, and Plank came over from his safety spot to stop that play, but that was well executed by the Packers. And by the way, I never heard of a tire weighs 35 pounds.
I tell you, that's heavy. We have the 2-minute warning here in the first half of play as Lynn Dickey trots over to talk to Bart Starr. The Chicago Bears lead the Packers 13-0. So with 2 minutes left now in this first half, the Packers have a 2nd down 6. John, we were checking a while ago. Looks like the Bears have sustained injuries here in this first half of play.
Roland Harper has a sore knee. I hope it's not too sore, but he's been out of the game. You can see him to the right of Walter Payton. He has a jacket on, and he's kind of handling his right knee. So apparently he hurt that.
And Bo Rather, I guess, has been shaken.
Yes.
Bo Rather taken out earlier after getting his bell rung. And now at the 9-yard line, the Packers with 2 minutes have a 2nd down and 6. From the end zone, Barty Smith. There's Nate Simpson, the running back field with him. 2 tight ends, Askeson and McGeorge. And here comes Barty Smith. And Smith hammers it out to the 13-yard line. That's going to be short of that first down. Don Reeves again making the tackle for the Bears. So it's 3rd down and still a yard to go. There's your time as you see it on the right-hand side of your screen. Packers just like to get out of here and maybe hang on to that 13-0 lead, or trailing 13-0, I should say. Again, in the backfield, Simpson and Barty Smith. 3rd down, a long yard to go. Barty Smith trying to get wide, and he's got that first down. Barty Smith brings it out to the 20-yard line. Steve Knutson One of the two USC guards starting in this Packer forward wall made quite a block on that play. See the time ticking away now.
He's been playing on a bad ankle, and it sure doesn't look at the way he's been pulling out there.
The crowd booing, John, because they think the Packers are being too conservative. But right now, trailing 13-0, they're just trying to get some operating room. They come out with Ollie Smith to the bottom of the screen, Vataha to the top, McGeorge and a tight end. Lynn Dickey going to throw now. Chase is on, and it's incomplete. And I'll tell you, he had pressure from everyone. Jim Osborne, Hartenstein was in there. He was throwing that ball as he was headed downward.
Well, Hartenstein jumped up there to obstruct Dickey's view. As you see, 73 here, and it was pretty tough there. There was a lot of pressure by the Bears. And now maybe you know why Bart Starr is trying to run the ball out with 37 seconds to go.
Second down, 10. Dennis Havig now has checked in at a guard spot for Green Bay. You see the time, the 37 seconds left. Dickey over the middle. Barty Smith had it for a moment. Barty Smith is a fine receiver. He caught a remarkable touchdown catch earlier this year. That time couldn't hang on. It's third down.
He may have had his hands crossed the wrong way. Now you see Reeves, the middle linebacker, dropping off. They try and throw underneath the coverage. You'll see Barty Smith come out. That was a tough catch. Now it's funny, from this angle we couldn't tell that on the regular play, but on the replay you could see that was a tough catch. He had to reach that hand out, and it looked like from a distance that he just dropped it.
McGeorge comes out as the Packers now have three wide receivers in on a 3rd and 10 at the 20. Lynn Dickey with 33 seconds left in the first half running. He's being chased by Jerry Myers. He's going to get out of bounds. Also, Jeff Seavey was over there. And Dickey loses yardage all the way inside the 10-yard line. That time, he hardly had time to look up the field.
That's right. The Bears had penetration on the rush that time. Jeff Seavey, who's played offense, mostly playing a little bit of defense. Jerry Myers, who's been out with a bad ankle. And the Packers are in a bad situation because they have to punt with 26 seconds left. And the Bears could fair catch and possibly go for a field goal.
That was an 11-yard loss on the play, and Beverly now standing inside his own end zone, and the rush is coming.
And he will be kicking against the wind.
The rush is coming. Schubert is back at the 45. Here they come. Beverly got it away. Fine kick. Schubert going back, makes a fair catch. That'd be a long
Boy,
field
that was
goal.
a long punt.
They came very close to getting this one, John.
Baschnagel coming from the outside. His angle is correct. Come in front of the punter. Takes the leap. But Beverly just got it away. And a nice one, too, all the way out to midfield. In fact, back into Bear territory.
41-yard kick by Beverly under pressure. And the ball now at the Chicago 49. You know, everyone knows that science can split the atom, but tomorrow Jessica falls into the clutches of a society that can split human beings into two creatures, one good, the other evil. Which one triumphs? Watch Logan's Run tomorrow night at 8, 7 Central Time.
41-yard punt by Beverly.
Do you remember the year when Paul Hornung, when they fair caught the Packers did against the Bears and kicked a field goal right before the half?
The Packers tried it a few years ago in the Astrodome with Chester Marcole, but he missed it. But it is something you can do, but that's just too far. A 41-yard kick. 20 seconds left. Bob Avellini with his team leading 13-0. Latta, and Latta now at the 30, and now field goal possibilities. With 11 seconds left, Steve Wagner made the stop, and Greg Latta having a very good first half.
Avellini hit him right on the numbers, too. That ball was perfect because Latta was well covered on the play. When the ball was in there, he wrapped around it, and the Bears have a chance for the field goal. Have called timeout.
Latta, 3 catches, 27 yards. Timeout is called, 11 seconds. Bob Thomas has hit 7 of 10 field goals this year. He is 3rd in the NFC in scoring with 33 points. 11 seconds left, his team with a 13-0 lead. And Bob Avellini in this first half has hit 50% of his passes. He's 4 of 8 for 54 yards. He has suffered the 1 interception. That was the first drive of the game when Mike McCoy picked one off at the 1-yard line. But right now, the offense of the Bears has been something. Peyton, 162 yards. Next week, Dallas against the Giants in that NFC Eastern Division. New Orleans, Philadelphia. The Saints really a lot of offense. San Francisco against surprising Atlanta. And then our doubleheader has Chicago against the Houston Oilers. St. Louis, Minnesota. That will really be a big one. Tampa Bay against Los Angeles. Tampa Bay still looking for that first win. Lost 20 in a row now, I believe, losing last week to the Green Bay Packers. Next week, the NFL on CBS. From the 30, well, they're going to run a play here, John, with 11 seconds, and then possibly set up the field goal attempt. Avellini looking to throw. James Scott. That was just kind of one of those head for the corner. I'll throw it over there. So 7 seconds still left, and now they're going to bring in Bob Thomas. Sometimes you can get kind of greedy in those situations, but they tried to pull one off for 6 points, and now they're going to try to get 3.
And it looks like it'll be about a 46-yard field goal. The wind must be 10 or 15 miles an hour in Thomas's favor. There's a wind behind him.
He kicked a 40-yard field goal last week. And this is going to be a 47-yarder. Bob Thomas with 7 seconds left in the first half. Baschnagel a hold. The kick by Bob Thomas is on the way, and they think they've got it, and they do. They were signaling 3 points. Baschnagel and Thomas is really excited about it. Jumping up and down, and now with 2 seconds left, it's a 16-0 game as Bob Thomas salvaging 3 points. This young man from Notre Dame really excited.
Yes, he has taken his raps the last year or two. There's been some key field goals that have been missed and extra points that have been blocked. And they talk about the trajectory of the ball and everything, and because he is a sidewinder. But that one had to be provide a lot of satisfaction for him, not the Green Bay Packers, who now must score 3 times, 2 touchdowns and a field goal for any kind of a chance to win. They have not done much offensively or defensively, the Packers, unless the Bears have thrown and they've been able to show ability to put pressure on the passer, which they've done all year long. As Pardee gives Bob Thomas instructions with 2 seconds to go, he probably doesn't want to give him a chance to return it, so he's going to tell him to kick a squib or something along that order.
Well, one thing historically that's not in favor of Green Bay is they have not had good second halves. In fact, they've scored only 10 points in the entire second half thus far in 1977.
In 6 games.
So they've got a lot of catching up to do in this one, trailing 16-0. Bob Thomas will be kicking with 2 seconds after that 47-yard field goal. Thomas now 8 of 11 for the year, and that's very fine percentage.
Now, Odom is back there, and he's a guy that has burned the Bears several times over the past couple of years, but I'm sure they're not going to get the ball to him.
There he is, number 84 on your screen. Let's see what Thomas is going to do. And you guessed it, John. He's going to squib it around. Steve Wagner goes high, brings it down, and he's going to be brought down at the 35. Or will he? Look at this effort. Steve Wagner just stays on his feet all the way out to the 50-yard line. So the first half has come to a close here with the Chicago Bears leading the Green Bay Packers 16-0. Quite a display by Walter Payton as the fans here, this capacity crowd unhappy. Walter Payton, 15 carries, 162 yards in this first half, complemented by the passing of Bob Avellini, 4 of 9 for 54 yards. Greg Latta, the big receiver, with 3 for 49 in this first half of play. So Green Bay in a catch-up situation, trailing 16-0. The Bears doing exactly, John, what they were going to do, their game plan, and that's run Walter Payton.
And I think they'll do that in the second half. Bart Starr has to take his team back in there and figure out what they're going to do. Lynn Dickey is 4 for 13 for 33 yards for the entire first half, and that's not much in the way of passing statistics. Running-wise, they haven't done much either. The best is Barty Smith with 10 for 36. They've gained 48 yards overall in rushing. So it's been a nil game for the Green Bay Packers, and you have to wonder, Bart Starr apparently has a contract through 1980. Outside of Green Bay, they say he's in trouble. In Green Bay, they say he's not in so much trouble.
Well, let's look at some scores now, Johnny. Minnesota, Atlanta, 7-7. Not very many people scoring very many points against Atlanta.
They have a good defense, and Minnesota, if Minnesota happened to drop that game, they would be 4-3. which would mean the winner of this game would be 3-4 and only one game out of first place in the Central Division. Washington 23-10 over Philadelphia. The Redskins have to win that. George Allen would go bananas if they didn't.
You know, Mark Mosley had a 51-yard field goal in that game, adding the last 3 points. So it's halftime here in Green Bay. The Chicago Bears trying to win game number 3 of the year, lead 16-0. Seating announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. Well, Johnny Morris, the big talk here at halftime is what can Walter Payton accomplish before the afternoon is over? He's zeroing in on some real big marks.
He's already passed Bronco Nagurski and Ronnie Bull for all-time career rushing. He is now 4th on the all-time Bear list for career rushing, and he's only in his 3rd year in the NFL.
Bob Thomas kicking off. Over on the fly comes Steve Odom for the Packers. Odom brings it out to the 20. A flag on the play, another flag on the play, and Odom winds his way out to the 32-yard line. But 2 flags were thrown as Odom's forward progress goes to the 32, clipping against Green Bay. So that'll bring that one back. Well, to get back to Walter Payton, his best output in a single game is 183 yards. So if he would go for 22 more yards before the afternoon's over, that would be a personal 1-game high for him. You saw it just a moment ago on the screen. He needs 112 yards to break O.J.'s record.
That record, I believe, is 273 yards.
We have a personal foul. Clipping 51 on the run back. First down.
So the penalty on Jim Gano, the linebacker, moves the ball back, and the Packers inherit very poor field position at the 11-yard line. Just underway, second half, 16-0 Chicago. Flag on the play is Barty Smith able to spin his way to the 14-yard line. Rydalch and Don Reeves, and that combination, we've been speaking to them quite frequently in this game. Ball out to the 14. Chicago was offside, so they're going to get 5 yards on that play to bring the ball outside the 15 to the 16. As you look at that offensive line of Green Bay, Pat Haggerty, our official. You know, you're talking about the wonderful weather here in Green Bay. It is warm for Green Bay, but it is getting a little chilly.
Defense. First down.
How can you say that? It is so beautiful. It's perfect for football. It's not chilly at all, fans.
Okay. Second down, or make that first down and 5 after the 5-yard penalty out to the 16-yard line. Ollie Smith and Bataha flanked wide for Lynn Dickey. Dickey gives off to Nate Simpson, and Simpson hammers his way to the 19-yard line. The ball is loose, I believe. Let's see, they're scrambling around at the 19-yard line area. Simpson had to make it out to the 21 for the first down, but the Packers have retained possession. Looked like Dennis Havig, the veteran who used to play for the Atlanta Falcons and the Houston Oilers. He's the guy that got on the ball, and at the 19-yard line, they're 2 yards short of the first down. 2nd and 2. Barty Smith, the leading rusher in this game for the Packers with 36, and after that, nobody's in double figures for Green Bay. They haven't been able to get that rushing game going. They're 14th in the NFC in that department. Barty Smith again, and Smith cuts it back, and he's got the first down. And the Packers needed that, Johnny, to get something going for him.
They certainly did. They almost didn't get it. Billy Newsome knocked him off stride as Mark Concord was blocking, and you'll see Billy Newsome put a hand on him, but it's just good, hard running by Barty Smith. He cut inside there because he saw Newsome and was able to bounce his way forward and get the first down. Good running by Barty Smith.
That moves the ball out to the 24-yard line. Bataha to the bottom, Smith to the top of the screen. Play action fake, wide open. Bataha, and this little guy is dangerous in the open field. Dropped at the 40-yard line by Allen Ellis. Randy Bataha, who played so well for the New England Patriots for so many years, making that catch.
Well, Allen Ellis was playing way off. As you watch the bottom of your screen, partial rollout as Bataha came across, no coverage whatsoever. There might have been a little bit of a mix-up. They both were playing off so deep. Bataha was so open, he didn't know where to go. Good play.
17-yard pickup to the 41-yard line. Bataha's 9th catch of the year. They picked him up on waivers on September 14th from New England. Eric Torkelson now in the backfield along with Barty Smith on a first down. There's a delay to Barty Smith and the big fullback across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Osborne and Reeves making the tackle.
And now you're seeing the value of Barty Smith. Inside, run him north and south, and boy, he can go. Legs driving, get that extra yardage for him. Don Reeves finally on the tackle, but not before he got 6-7 yards.
Well, he has 46 yards now on 12 carries as he brings up a 2nd and 5. He came in 21st in the NFC in rushing from the 46. 2nd and 5. 46 yards now on 12 carries as he brings up a 2nd and 5. He came in 21st in the NFC in rushing from the 46. 2nd and 5. A give to Eric Torkelson, and Torkelson short of the 50-yard line, but a flag was thrown just about the time the play developed. And it's going to be offside against Chicago. The Packers will take that, and they'll be very close to the first down because they had a 2nd and 5. As you look now at Zeke Bradkowski and Bart Starr. Boy, what a duo they were at quarterback in those glory years in Green Bay. Let's listen now to Pat Haggerty.
I got you. All right, offsides, 68, defense, first down.
That's Osborne. It did give him the first down. So now at the bare 49-yard line, Green Bay, after starting with a clipping call on the kickoff, has moved the ball all the way to the Chicago 49-yard line. 16-0, Chicago. Dickey gives off to Torkelson. Torkelson out of Connecticut. And he goes for 8 yards. Short of the 40-yard line. Gary Fensick has been the leading tackler on this Bear team, makes the tackle.
This is the old sucker play. Dennis Havoc, the right guard, pulled out, and you were going to see Jim Osborne go with him, and then that opens up a natural hole. He couldn't react back, and that was the old famous sucker play where you pull a guard one way and try and sucker everybody going that way and open up the hole. Gary Fensick finally with the tackle for Chicago.
So it's 2nd and 2 after the 8-yard pickup, just short of the 40-yard line. This is Barty Smith, and Smith fighting for the first down. Packers running right at Chicago. You probably noticed that Havoc playing a lot of football right now. We have word that Mel Jackson has a pinched nerve and will not be playing possibly the rest of the game. That's getting closer.
Washington 23-17 in the 4th quarter. Look at this one.
Oof.
Cleveland 37-0 over Kansas City.
Green Bay plays the Chiefs next week in Kansas City. They're going to measure to see if he did get the first down inside the 40-yard line, and I don't believe he got it. Just short. Jeff Seavey and Mike Hartenstein continue to alternate in that defensive line position. Seavey started the year as an offensive tackle for Chicago. McGeorge and Bert Askson, 2 tight ends, come in as Vataha checks out.
And they sent the play in with Askins.
That's a toughie, isn't it?
Number 88. And he brought the play in.
That's number 88. We'll just say that. From the 39 now. 3rd down, and you saw a moment ago, inches. I give to Barty Smith, and he got it. Barty Smith, a real pile driver on this drive. Reeves made the tackle.
Reeves almost made the tackle. Actually, Reeves guessed the hole from his middle linebacker spot and just missed his guess. Watch number 57. There he is shooting through. He runs right by Smith. A stop-and-go sign as they went by each other, and Barty Smith pile drive through to get the first down. This is the Packers' best drive of the game so far.
Barty Smith now has 50 yards on 14 carries. They're doing exactly what they wanted to do. Start their offense, keep possession of that football. They trail 16-0. The drive now at the 37 of Chicago. Nate Simpson now with Smith. This is Nate Simpson. He fumbles the ball. And all the way back out to the 49-yard line. Hartenstein over there giving chase. So the mistakes now very costly to Green Bay.
Well, that's the kind of a play that can ruin a drive. You get a fumble like that, now they're in a passing situation, 20 yards to go, and you've got some trouble. There's Miami 13-7 over San Diego. The Dolphins going in were 5-1, tied with Baltimore in the Eastern Division.
Boy, Don Shula's got that crew back, doesn't he?
He sure has.
2nd down, you see the yardage, 21 to go at that long loss back to the 49. Dickey wants to throw on 2nd down. Protection breaking down. Reitels is there. A loss back inside the 45. Also Jim Osborne.
Let's watch Reitels. Watch Larry McCarron, 54. He's an optional blocker to get back and help out as Reitels just comes piling through. 2 guys blocking, and he still made the tackle. First, it was Knutson, and then it was McCarron. He got by them both and made the tackle. And if you don't think, let's see, 3rd and 10, 20, 30, 3rd and 30.
It's an acre to go. 3rd and 30, I think. Now, their original line of scrimmage is the 37 of Chicago. They're now on their own 43. inside. 9.5 minutes to go, third quarter. So the drive now going backwards. Third down, 30 yards to go. Dickey, here comes Osborne after him. Lays the ball to Barty Smith. And Barty Smith, quite a collision at the 49-yard line. Coming up on that play was Allen Ellis. We have offside against Chicago on the play. Green Bay, however, picking up more yardage than that on the pass completion. Dickey that time showing a little touch on that pass.
Yes, he did. Good grab. I think they'll take another down if they can get it.
Ball at the 49. It was 3rd and 30, and of course they're long ways from the first down. They got to go all the way till the 27-yard line of Chicago. But they would have a 4th down if in fact they take the ball there, and that's what Dickey's trying to find out right now. Lynn Dickey coming in here hitting 53% of his passes, 4 touchdowns, but 11 interceptions. Last week, 11 of 15. Very fine game against Tampa Bay. So, John, they're going to take it so they can get another crack at the ball.
We have offside, number 75, defense.
That's Jeff Seavey. Seavey, who played defense at the University of California, then coming to the Bears, moved the offense. Now he's playing both ways.
And he's playing a little defense, and I saw him last night. He says, if I get in, isolate on me. Watch me.
3rd and 25. Dickey with pressure from Osborne again. Also Hartenstein. And he just got rid of it. Rich McGeorge is covered. There was nobody open. Jim Osborne is really putting some pressure on.
Jim Osborne has not played as much as he had liked to the past few games, but let's watch him. 68 coming after Dickey. That's a long way to go. Mike Hartenstein, 73, is also there. Dickey had no option but to throw the ball to avoid the loss. The Packers are going to have to punt.
What really hurt him on that drive was that mishandled pitch to Nate Simpson, and now they're backed up, and Beverly will kick. Beverly in the first half averaged 38 yards on 6 kicks. Back to Schubert. He did not make a fair catch, or did he? He didn't let him catch the ball anyway. And at the 15-yard line, Schubert was hit, and hit very hard by Andre Thompson. The scramble coming out with the ball. You got to let him catch that ball. You can't interfere with the catching of the ball. And Schubert is hurt, and I can understand why. He was really hit. He's down now, getting up very slowly.
No chance. That's got to be a penalty against the Green Bay Packers. Thompson was trying to time it so that he could let him catch it and then blast him, but he just hit him too soon. And Schubert a little bit shaken up.
He got doubled in half on that play. They're very vulnerable in that situation.
He's telling Walterscheid, you take the next one.
All right, Pat Haggerty now indicating the penalty, which moves the ball out to the 30.
We have interference with the right to make a catch. Okay.
Out to the 30-yard line. That was a 37-yard kick. The ball at the 30, and Chicago with the football, and also the 16-0 lead. 8 minutes and 52 seconds left to go, third quarter. Warm day here in Green Bay. Temperature kickoff time 52 degrees. We come back with 8:52 left to go in this third quarter. From the 30-yard line, Avellini to John Musso. And Musso brings it out to the 31. Packers having that ball a long time with that initial drive, but not getting any points. Mike Butler making the stop, and Minnesota.
Final 14-7 Minnesota, so the Vikings are 5-2 in the Central Division. Atlanta has dropped to 4-3 in the Western Division, giving the Rams a chance to take over. Look at this one. They're gone into overtime, I understand. Houston and Cincinnati 10-10.
Houston to meet the Chicago Bears next week. Again on that last play of 2 yards. Here comes Payton, and he's got a flag on the play, and Walter Payton's hit by Carter and everybody else. He might have gotten a couple of yards, and that's all. Walter Payton with a chance to really shatter some records in the second half of play. Johnny Gray and Fred Carr over there, but a penalty against the Bears anyway. Again, Payton needs only 22 yards to set a personal high for himself, 112 to break O.J. Simpson's record. The Packers held onto that ball a long time here in the third quarter.
That was their best drive of the game, and too bad for the fumble because they had a chance. They were moving, good blocking. Now the Bears, if they can control this ball, they will make the Packers forget about that successful drive that they had.
All right, we have holding number 64, offense.
That's
Second
Ted
down.
Albrecht, the #1 draft pick out of California, now playing tackle, guilty of holding.
Well, this is a situation where in this game where the Packers have done well is when the Bears have been 2nd and 15, 2nd and 20, where they've been forced to pass.
Second down, 18 yards to go with the penalty. That is the 9th penalty for 70 yards against the Bears. Quick pitch, Musso. And Musso hit hard, just short of the 25-yard line. Dave Purifoy and Fred Carr, but Purifoy playing his best football ever in his 6th year. Some real contact that time.
He already has 6 sacks, and that time he sacked. It's not an official sack, but he really sacked Johnny Musso. Took him down.
3rd down, 16. Changes. Clarence Williams coming out of the ball game now.
There go those defensive backs in.
Boy, they send in some people, don't they? Steve Wagner checking in. Terry Randolph, the brother, by the way, of Willie Randolph, the second baseman for the Yankees. 3rd down, 16. Avellini on a draw to Walter Payton, and Payton gets out to the 30, and it's going to bring up 4th down, still 10. Ezra Johnson, number 78. You're going to hear a lot about him in the years ahead. The rookie out of Morris Brown making the tackle, 4th down.
And if you don't think the Bears have turned conservative, that was a classic example. 3 straight runs there in a situation where they really needed a passing down to get a 1st down, but they've got the lead 16-0, eat up the clock and not take any chances.
That's what Green Bay was criticized for last week with that 13-0 lead over Tampa Bay. But Jack Pardee said you just sit on them like that. The kick now by Bob Parsons. Moresco putting the pressure on. Johnny Gray is back at the 34. 40-yard line. Johnny Gray goes into the air at the 42-yard line. Fine return, but there's a flag back at the 35-yard line. We're going to have an ineligible man down the field. But I don't believe the Packers will mess around with that one. They'll take over right now. Good return that time on a 38-yard kick by Bob Parsons. Johnny Gray, who last year returned 37 punts for the Packers. This year, they've been alternating back there. But the Packers are going to take the ball.
Downfield, number 39, offense, decline, 1st down.
Let's watch Gray as he went airborne.
Here he goes, up just like a hurdler. He can get killed that way, too.
You've known that before. Have you tried that? So with 6:46, there's timeout on the field. The Bears with a 16-0 lead in this 116th meeting. San Diego, Johnny Morris, just pulled one out. Harris, a 5-yard run to beat the Miami Dolphins.
And New England over the Jets, 24-13.
From the 42-yard line, a 1st down for the Packers. They trail 16-0. Lynn Dickey wasting no time. Pressure put on. He dumps it off to Barty Smith. Smith rips it up to the 46-yard line. Doug Buffone, the veteran, he's been in this league 11 years out of the University of Louisville. Last year in the 2nd game, tore his Achilles tendon. And some real courage battling back and back into that starting linebacking spot.
And there aren't too many people that can come back from a completely torn Achilles tendon and play as well as Doug Buffone has. Many people figured, especially at his age, he was finished.
Turdell Middleton now in the backfield. Another rookie is Bart Starr taking a look at the rookies. Simpson and now Middleton. 2nd and 5. Here comes Turdell Middleton. He's a 3rd-round draft pick out of Memphis State, and he's very close to the 1st down. Ron Rydels, again, the name we call out as he's been on a bunch of tackles in this game.
You know, Papa Bear George Hollis is back in Chicago, and he's got to be thinking about the old Packer-Bear games like back in 1923 when the Bears beat the Packers 3-0. I wonder if he remembers that specific game. And how about 1924 when it was 5-0 Green Bay over the Bears?
Well, the 1st down indicated by the measurement. What is he, 82 years young, isn't he, George Hallis?
82 years old.
40 years to coach, retiring in 1968. This team leading 16-0. Zeke Bradkowski now conferring on the sideline. They'd like to get some points on the board. That was a 1st down on that run by Middleton. Lynn Dickey, play action to Middleton. This is Vataha. And Vataha, the 2nd catch. Looks like he caught a knee in the side that time, getting up very slowly. Doug Plank was the guy there, and Vataha is hurting.
Same pattern to Vataha, down on the quick post with a little run fake, and he's wide open as he's in between the triangle. 3 Chicago Bears, a triangle, but not where the ball was, and there was the knee that he caught from Doug Plank. And that can
Taha
hurt.
is really hurting right now. This young man is only a 170-pounder, 5'10". Look at it again.
I don't think it's intentional. It's just that he went down and Plank was trying to go up and over.
Doug Plank will hit you, and he came up on the fly that time. 16-0, Chicago, 5:22 to go, third quarter. Taha sitting down kind of gingerly right now. He's really hurting that right side, but he did give the Packers a first down at the 32-yard line of Chicago. Len Dickey. And I don't know, I guess Rich McGeorge intended receiver. The deep man was Odom. He was double covered. And George had dropped in a shorter place, but nothing doing on that play.
Randy Vataha has bruised ribs, which can be very, very painful, which means they'll have to be strapped up depending on how badly bruised they are, but it's really a painful injury.
Thus far in this game now, Len Dickey's hit 7 of 18 for 69 yards. His longest pass completion, 17. Second and 10. Give up the middle to Barty Smith, and Barty Smith, the leading ground gainer for the Packers here this afternoon, is inside the 30-yard line. Don Reeves, out of Texas Tech, making the stop. Let's watch number 57.
There he is, Don Reeves, the man who was being blocked there by McCarron, but McCarron goes right underneath him. He holds his ground, and in comes Barty Smith, but they still couldn't stop him from gaining about 3 or 4 yards.
Inside the 30, brings up third down and 5. You don't hear a lot about Reeves, but he does a pretty good job in that middle.
And we see Odom in the slot. He's going to be in this play.
Odom and Ollie Smith flank to the bottom of the screen on a third down and 5. Dickey, Steve Odom, and Odom at the 15-yard line. However, is there a flag here? There's a flag inside the 30-yard line, and who's it against? It's holding against Green Bay. And that has been the story today, John. They've really hurt themselves on mishandled balls as well as the penalty. So the completion to the 15-yard line is going to come back. There's Andre Thompson, 43, getting ready to check in. So the 10-yard step off brings the ball back to the 40-yard line.
So all in all, it costs 25 yards.
Holding.
Number 43.
Number 60, offense.
Steve Knutson is the one he said, number 60.
Let's watch the left guard as he's blocking. And you can see Rideouts get around him. He pulled on his arm. Yes, it was holding. And there is Odom down clear.
As you said it, they lost 25 yards on that play. Now it's 3rd and 15. Dickey back again. Dumps it off to Barty Smith. Smith to the 35, lowers his head, and Allen Ellis didn't give a step on that one. Ellis with 3 interceptions this year. He's not a very big guy, but it won.
4th down and 10. A field goal, it'd be much too long, especially against the wind. If they didn't make it, the Bears wouldn't have the greatest field position at the 35-yard line. If they did complete it, let's see, they need 11 yards.
Well, Len Dickey over there conferring with Art Starr and Zeke Bradkowski. So we're going to take this opportunity now. The clock stopped at 3:53. 16-0 our score. To listen to this. The Packers on 4th down, 10.5 yards to go at the 3:53 mark of the third quarter are going for it. They have 3 wide receivers in the game. Back to throw is Len Dickey. The protection is there. He throws. It is intercepted. A remarkable interception at the 20-yard line. And bringing it out comes Gary Fensick, and Fensick is at the 40. So on 4th and 10.5, the Packers elected to gamble. And what an interception by Gary Fensick, his 2nd of the year.
They had Odom in the slot, and he went down the field and cut across. 84, you can see him near the second man from the top of your screen. Now he has a little bit of a pressure there, a blitz by the Bears, and here comes the ball. And Fensick came from the other side and intercepted it, and the Bears have the ball. Actually, Odom was open as far as the man covering him.
23-yard interception. That was a kind of a circus catch that time. Here comes Walter Payton. He didn't have much running time in the second half, but here he goes. Walter Payton, for that carry, at 166 yards, and he's close to the midfield stripe. Jim Carter, Johnny Gray making the tackle. As Walter Payton zeroing in on some personal highs as Bart Starr looks on.
He might run in the locker room and put that suit on himself.
That was Dickey's first interception. He's 8 of 20 for this game. Ball inside the 50, and now we keep abreast of Payton. He has 175 yards. His personal high, 183. Gain of 9. This is Musso, and Musso's got the first down. Johnny Gray's got him at the 43-yard line. Musso getting a lot of playing time in this game, and I know he's really welcomes it. Cincinnati.
13-10, Cincinnati. That's the final. So the Bengals are back on the board a little bit. They're 3-4 in the Central Division.
Well, that's some division, isn't it?
Yeah. Houston will be 3-4 too.
Chris Barr with a 22-yard field goal, the difference in that game. 13-10, the Bengals. First down, Chicago. Avellini, Walter Payton. And Payton moves the ball close to the 35-yard line. Boy, did he stick it in that time. Mike Butler, Johnny Gray.
The Packers are using a lot more odd defense, that old 53 defense with the man head up on the center. They got Purifoy, and the Bears are handling it pretty well. The Packers are traditionally that 4-3 defense. They're using a little more of the odd alignment today.
It's going to bring up second down 3. The ball at the 36. Payton now with 181 yards. Too short of his personal high. Here's Musso again. And Musso very close to the first down. Gray making the tackle. Johnny Gray. Last year, 4 interceptions. He's a former free agent pick 3 years ago out of California State Fullerton. Wearing a number that you're familiar with. Willie Wood wore that number years past with Green Bay.
One of the great ones. He and Herb Adderley and some of those guys they had in the defensive backfield, Robinson and
Would
Nitschke.
Willie Wood hit you?
Oh, they all hit you.
At the 32, first down. Avellini off to Payton, and Payton now has a personal high as he moves that ball to the 27-yard line. Johnny Gray again making the stop.
Teamed with Musso, as you see, Musso 22 leading the way. Just goes right through the hole. Fred Carr got a hand on him, but Payton is so elusive, so slippery. And finally, Johnny Gray, who's been called upon several times today to stop Payton in the secondary.
That's 186 yards, and that's a personal high now for Walter Payton. On 2nd and 4, here comes Walter again, and they're keying off on him pretty well now. Drop him at the 25. Clarence Williams in the hole as Walter picks up a couple of hard-earned yards that time.
This stadium is very quiet now. These Packer fans haven't had much to cheer about, and they're just kind of watching Payton in awe. He's about to go over 200 yards rushing. That's a lot of yards.
Again, now we might remind everybody the record in the National Football League is 273 yards by O.J. And we still have 37 seconds left here in the third quarter. Third down and 3. This time up the middle, and that's close to the first down. As Avellini going straight ahead. Carr and Carter combining on the stop. And they may measure to see. They're going to have to bring the sticks in to see if he got it.
That's Sid Gilman standing next to Jack Pardee, who is the new offensive coordinator for the Bears this year. Pardee's got to be happy with the way things are going. They have stuck to the game plan, and Walter will carry 30 times.
They're just short of that first down. So they're going to have a fourth down coming up. Payton now, the crowd has been told, has 20 carries, 188 yards. And 1 touchdown as Bradley and Latta, the 2 tight ends, come in. Fourth down and less than a yard to go. 22 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Avellini sneaking ahead, and he's got the first down. Avellini to the 21-yard line, first down, as this third quarter is coming to a close here in Lambeau Field. Chicago Bears haven't had the football all that much in the second half. This is the lead they had at halftime, 16-0. The Packers using some ball control as the third quarter comes to a close. Our score after 3 quarters. The Chicago Bears 16, the Green Bay Packers nothing. We now pause for a word from your local station.
A half-wild mountain child that's kept under lock and key brings Rafferty onto the scene tomorrow night on CBS.
Along with Johnny Morris, this is Gary Bender. We've just gone through a scoreless 3rd quarter. We start the 4th quarter. The Bears with a 16-0 lead. First down at the 21 of Green Bay. Avellini off to Musso. Musso to the 15, and Johnny Musso dives forward to the 12-yard line. Johnny Gray making the tackle. Well, we've talked about Payton all day long. Musso has carried the ball 13 times. And now he has gone over 55. He's gone to 61 yards for the afternoon.
And how about the New Orleans Saints, who lead the Rams 24-20 in the 3rd quarter, and Dallas is killing Detroit 30-0 in the 3rd quarter.
I had New Orleans last week against St. Louis, and they had 31 points in that game. They have a lot of offense. Hank Stram has that ball moving. 2nd down, a yard to go. Avellini to Musso, and Musso gets the first down inside the 10-yard line. Inside the 10, first down Chicago. Last year, the Bears swept the Packers, and that was the first time since 1963. As we look at some of the scores, there is New Orleans, Los Angeles. Tell you, the Saints, you got to score a lot of points against them.
And they'll give you a lot of points, though. I'll tell you, they lose 40-35. It's got to be exciting football, but not much defense.
First down now. 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Avellini to Walter Payton. Look at Payton inside the 5. He's going to fight his way down close to that goal line. You cannot tackle that guy high because he'll just carry you with him, and he's got to be inside the 1-yard line.
There was some excellent blocking, and watch number 22, Johnny Musso, the block that he throws to help Walter. He'll hit Fred Carr, 53, which you can't see too well, as you saw Jimmy Carter kind of run out of the play there, and then Payton just takes 3 or 4 of them to bring him down. Just sheer power. Look at that. The legs keep going. We'll get a better look at the blocking in a second. Watch 22, Musso, hit Fred Carr right there, and out of the play he went. Johnny Gray tried to make the tackle.
2nd and goal, diving in is Musso. He's in. Touchdown. So the Chicago Bears get some more breathing room.
They just barely got over, but that was enough. Walter Payton into the end zone, up on top of that white line. If you're over it with the ball, it's a touchdown.
So Walter Payton scoring again. The block from Musso. I think I said Musso carried, but he was the lead blocker that time. He takes it in. It's 22-0. Payton now with 197 yards. 2 touchdowns. Point after attempt, Bob Thomas to kick. Baschnagel a hole. 12:53 remaining. And Bob Thomas adds it. It's 23-0. The Chicago Bears well on their way to victory number 3 of the year with this 23-0 lead led by the marvelous Walter Payton.
Next Saturday, CBS Sports presents live coverage of the Series Championship of Women's Tennis with Chris Evert and Billie Jean King heading the field. That's next Saturday at 2:30.
Bob Thomas kicking off. There's part of the crowd. I don't think there's too many happy Packer fans right now. You know, they're really a loyal crowd here. And right now they're sitting very silently, and they've just got to be awed by the play of Walter Payton, who now has 197 yards.
Well, they are, if you want to say loyal fans, they don't boo. I don't know how long they'll go along with this and not boo, because fans pay their money and they have a right to boo, but they don't want to boo a Bart Starr team for some reason.
23-0 our score. It's going to be a short kick, and coming up on the fly is Steve Odom. Odom out across the 30, and he fumbled the ball, but it came right back to him. The ball was loose, but it came right back into his grasp at the 31-yard line. So Green Bay trailing 23-0. There's a final, and the Skins needed that one. They defeat the Eagles. 23-17, Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Baltimore losing a tough one last week against New England. Turdell Middleton, number 34 on your screen, comes in. A rookie out of Memphis State, third-round draft pick. Artie Smith will join him in the backfield. Dickey play action fake. Protection is very good. Throws up the field to Steve Odom. Odom dropped immediately by Virgil Livers. Steve Odom got the first down out to the 41-yard line.
Nice play by Odom. He came back for the ball as Dickey came up in the pocket. Good execution. It's coming a little bit late for the Packers. As you see, you watch Dickey go back, and the pocket comes around him, so he comes forward and then throws to Odom, who is coming back to the ball, so the defender can't do anything but tackle him. Good execution.
11-yard pickup to the 41. 12-10 remaining in our game. Dickey back again. Protection's there again. He throws to Ollie Smith. And Smith tries to get back up, but he's touched before he can, and that's another first down. Don Reeves over there, but Ollie Smith gets inside to the bare end of the field. So on 2 pass completions, Len Dickey has picked up 2 first downs. Dickey now has hit 10 of 22 in this game. Len Dickey, big guy. He's got the good size, 6'4". They listed him about 215, 220. He was hurt in the 10th game last year against Chicago, a shoulder injury, but has come back. Dickey again, the throw. He throws it far side. Turdell Middleton. Is that a pass or a lateral? They're going to consider that a pass, incomplete. Very close to going either way.
Very close. He played it kind of nonchalantly and convinced the officials that it was a forward pass.
2nd down, 10. You know, you look at Chicago, John. A lot of people picked them to win this Central Division of the NFC, and they've lost some tough ones. I think in particular the game in St. Louis, the game against Minnesota, but there's still time.
Especially with the Vikings being just 5-2, the Bears will be 3-4. They'll be 2 games out.
Dickey back to throw again, 2nd and 10. Throwing, and Rich McGeorge, did he get it? No, incomplete. I think that took one skip into his arms that time. And so we go to a 3rd down, 10.
Do I hear a few boos?
I think you do. Rich McGeorge coming in here with 10 catches. He's been a very durable tight end. There's the Bear bench. It's got to be a pleased bench at this stage. This was considered somewhat of a pressure game for them. Nate Simpson is checked in. And Turdell Middleton is checked out. Odom, Ollie Smith flanked to the near side. 3rd down, 10. Dickey throwing under pressure. Odom getting turned around. Couldn't get to the ball. Livers again defending on the play, and it's 4th down, and the crowd is booing.
They put the all-out blitz on that time, which forced Dickey to throw that ball very quick. Livers had the coverage well, and the Packers are going to have to punt as Bart Starr trying to figure what to come up with to get his team back in this game.
Well, the Packers have not been held scoreless this year. Twice they've been held to 1 touchdown. That was against Minnesota and Cincinnati. As we mentioned earlier, they've been in every game. Right now, the Bears commanding 23-0 lead. Big rush. Beverly gets it away. Fine kick. And that one's going to make it into the end zone for the touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line with 11 minutes and 5 seconds left to be played. As Green Bay, after that 48-yard kick, would like to salvage some points in this game. You hate to get shut out, and right now they face that possibility as they trail 23-0, 4th quarter.
Touch, the first computer TV. Magnavox Touch Tune Color Television. Touch and lock in computer sharp color, computer fast. Touch, no need to fine tune ever. Touch, at the set or by remote control, computer controlled color. Star System Touch Tune Color Television from Magnavox. Touch one today.
Hi, ever need to rent a car fast? Watch. Hertz, #1 club number 21586, arriving San Diego at 2 p.m. on RAL Flight 9. Returning it there tomorrow. Okay, thanks. That's all there is to it. When you're in the number one club, nobody makes renting a car faster or easier than the Superstar. Even before you get there, your car is pre-assigned, your forms filled out. So rent a Ford fast from Hertz, the Superstar in rent-a-car.
From the 20-yard line, Chicago with the football, 11:05 left. They have a 23-0 lead. Now we're going to keep you posted on Walter Payton. 197 yards and 22 carries thus far. The ball at the 20. Avellini has Paschnagel. To the bottom of the screen along with Scott. Here's Walter Payton cutting back against the grain. And the great running back brings it outside of the 27-yard line. Johnny Gray again making the tackle. He's got to be the leading tackler in this game.
Now here's Payton. He is so quick. It was kind of like the draw play. It was off to the left, but you have some options there. He plays off of Noah Jackson's block and then takes off and almost broke this for a long one. He was just getting under gear, and Johnny Gray made the stop along with Butler.
Now they've taken Payton out of the game. There he is, and we have him with 205 yards on 23 carries. And Robin Earl, the rookie, comes in, and this is Robin Earl carrying the ball now. And he brings it out to the 35-yard line. That may be the last we'll see of Payton today. But what a remarkable effort by him. 2 touchdowns, 205 yards. 69 yards is what he would need to break O.J.'s record. He came in here leading everybody with 653 yards. The closest to him was Mark Van Egan of the Oakland Raiders, and he was 69 yards behind him at the start of the day. Inside 10 minutes to go. First down. Avellini off to Musso. Nothing doing on that play. Backed up very well that time. Jim Gano, second-year man from Tulane, making the tackle for Green Bay.
Well, you have to speculate on the plight of Bart Starr. His first year they were 4-10. Last year they were 5-9, and now they're 2-5. With the prospects for the rest of the season, it looks like maybe if they're lucky 5-9, maybe 6-8.
They were shooting hopefully for a 7-7 year at the start of this year. Here comes Musso again, and Musso brings it out to the 40-yard line. It's going to bring up third down, 5 yards. There's Bart Starr. Boy, this guy, what a legend he is. He's a super guy.
Well, both of these coaches, Pardee and Bart Starr, 2 quality coaches that have had success throughout their lives. Jack Pardee was a good student, a great player, led a team to a championship in the WFL that wasn't even getting paid. You know, both of these players have had histories of success, and you have to think in the long run that they're both going to be successful in what they're doing now.
Pardee bringing over 5 players from the WFL. It's really been instrumental in this football team. Third down, 5 from the 40. Flag. We may have a delay of game coming up. Don't believe they got the ball anyway. Avellini and Ezra Johnson there kind of scuffling. That's what it's going to be. 5 yards. Stepped off against the Chicago Bears. To get back to Bart Starr, he's the 8th Packer coach. He has signed his contract through 1980. 43 years old in his 3rd year. First time that he's had a full draft. He'd lost all of them. There it is, delay of the game. He'd lost all of them in that John Hadle trade with Los Angeles. Next year they'll have 2 number 1 draft picks because of the trade of Mike McCoy to Oakland. So they had 2 number 1s this year. They're happy with those in Butler and Johnson. They hope next year to be as successful. Third down, 10. Hey, look at this. Bob Avellini. He got the first down. I'll tell you, nobody knew where he was there for a moment. I think he's shaken up on this play, too.
He paid for it. He paid for it. Johnny Gray really laid into him, and Steve Luke. But did he fool him as he comes right up, and the Pfeiffer, the center, didn't even have to block anybody. And there goes. Now watch Johnny Gray, 24, and Steve Luke. They hit him head on, and it jolted Bob, and I think he might be a little bit dizzy as he goes off the field. But it was sure a successful play.
He goes off, and Mike Phipps is going to make his first appearance ever this year. He has not played at all in a regular season of play. Picked up from the Cleveland Browns, a former Purdue standout. There he is, number 15. He gives off to Robin Earl, and look at him, 250 pounds of running back. And he's got a first down inside the 45-yard line.
There are a lot of Chicago Bears who hadn't played this year as far as from scrimmage. Robin Earl, Johnny Musso hadn't played much, and they're all getting a chance to play. And Robin Earl at 250 pounds.
That's Whitehurst.
There you see Whitehurst, who may get a chance to play in this game. And Bart Starr's very high on Mr. Whitehurst from Furman.
He was an 8th-round draft pick. He has not thrown a pass. He has taken a couple of snaps, but hasn't thrown a pass previous to today. First down on that last run by Robin Earl. Mike Phipps giving off to Musso. He spun around, going little or nowhere. John Brockington, we understand, just scored the first touchdown of the day for the Kansas City Chiefs, but look at that score, would you?
44-7. John Brockington, who's still being paid, I think, by the Green Bay Packers, but that's okay, I guess.
Brockington, went over 5,000 yards in his career before
he had a couple of
leave
fine years here.
Art Best coming in. A lot of changes now for Chicago. Art Best, a running back they acquired from the Los Angeles Rams. He was a 6th-round draft pick for the Rams this year. Bashnagel, Scott to the bottom of the screen. Here comes Earl again. Look at him go. Robin Earl's going to take it down to the 10, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds at the 7. Robin Earl showing some quickness and speed for a big guy. Mike McCoy eventually caught him, and Earl, a hulk of a man, can run.
And Noah Jackson, 65, was as happy as anybody. Watch 65, Noah Jackson pulling and kick his man out to provide the hole as Robin Earl, 250 pounds, gets away there from Gray and turns it on. Finally, Buchanan, I believe, is the one who knocks him out of the bound. McCoy, and he goes out of bounds. But remember, he's 250 pounds, and they're going to have to come up with a nickname for him.
I tell you, John, he showed me something on that play. First and goal at the 8-yard line. That was a 34-yard run by Robin Earl. Mike Phipps, his first pass of the year. Scott can't handle it. Good defensive play that time by Willie Buchanan. Willie Buchanan, he's been quite a player. He's broken his leg twice, but he is a quality defensive back.
Well, that time they just told Scott to run, and they hope that the receiver spots the ball first. And Buchanan was right there to knock it away from James Scott. I think that's the first pass to James Scott today, who is averaging 21 yards per catch. Good play by Buchanan.
He came in here 3rd in the NFC. So Phipps, with his first attempt, very close to 6 points. 2nd and goal at the 8. 6:14 left in this game. 23-0, Chicago. Phipps giving off to Art Best. Best gets a block and moves to the 5. Don Hanson now playing the middle linebacking spot, a job he held down last year in the absence of Jim Carter, who was out with a broken arm. So it's going to be 3rd and goal at the 5. You look at that Bear forward wall, you're going to about the same people, but in the backfield, there's Walter Payton. Nice job, Mr. Payton. 205 yards today. I think he earned his paycheck.
Yeah, he's going to get the start next week, I think.
3rd and goal now. Scott to the top of the screen. Bashnagel flank to the bottom of the screen. A delay to Art Best. Clarence Williams is there. And it's going to bring up 4th and goal, and Bob Thomas will come in to attempt the field goal. A convincing performance here by the Chicago Bears, as Thomas will come in. In this ball game, Thomas booting 1 field goal. A distance of 47 yards. This will be a short one, a little chip shot for him with 5:07.
And he sometimes has his biggest problems on the shorter ones at the trajectory of the ball. We'll see what happens. He's 8 of 11, though. Those are pretty good stats.
20-yard field goal attempt. Bashnagel a hole. And he got it. Bob Thomas did that very, very easily. And we have a score now with 4 minutes and 52 seconds left in the game of 26-0 as the Chicago Bears in this heated rivalry winning impressively.
Introducing the Ford in your future, the new Ford Fairmont. A new car designed for today and the years ahead. At 33 miles per gallon highway, 23 city, Fairmont has the highest mileage ratings in its class. Yet it has 90% of the head, leg, and shoulder room of most large cars. And base sticker prices for the Fairmont line start at just $35.89. Fairmont, roomy but with mileage like a small car, and the lowest sticker price in its class. Test drive Fairmont, the newest, better idea from Ford.
Should have bought Mobile One. The oil, it saves you gas, you know.
Should have bought Mobile One. Helps you start at 35 below.
Should have bought Mobile One. Engine temperature hits 500. You're cool.
Should have bought Mobile One. You only change it every 15,000 miles.
Mobile One, the oil that does it all. Take it from an expert.
Well, the Green Bay Packers are going to get a crack at the football, trailing 26-0. Johnny Morris, thus far in this game, the Bears have rushed for 368 yards. Bob Thomas kicking off. He just kicked a 20-yard field goal. Picked up short by Colbert. He ran one back earlier, and this time he's going to bring it out to the 23 or 33. Here's a young man that Bart Starr said was a pleasant surprise. Colbert out of Oklahoma. Robin Earl making the tackle. And now a new quarterback that's coming into the ball game. David Whitehurst, number 17, out of Furman University. Has not thrown a pass thus far. He's 6'2", 205, an 8th-round draft pick. They think that he is going to be a fine prospect, an excellent runner, and had some good preseason games. With 4:44, he gets a shot at it.
Watch out. Watch out.
Here comes Plank. Doug Plank on a safety blitz, and Whitehurst didn't have a chance.
Well, they knew a new quarterback was coming in, hadn't played that much, and the Bears came with the all-out blitz, the safety blitz, and figured they would give him a fast indoctrination. Watch 46 there sneaking up on the line. He comes through. There's nobody to block him. And Mr. Whitehurst says, that's not the way it was drawn up on the chart.
And that's not the way they played in college. And that amazing Plank. Plank is out 3 games with that knee injury. I don't think there's anybody in the league that hits any harder than he does at his position.
Oh, he really hits him. You know, the Bears have done well defensively without Wally Chambers. They've held him out.
Torkelson and Colbert, the running backs now for Green Bay. On a 2nd and 25, Whitehurst to try it again. He's going to run it. Comes up now, and he threw the ball to Torkelson, incomplete. He almost came across that line of scrimmage before he threw the ball, but just before he did, he released it incomplete. Whitehurst, as we said, is a fine runner. He passed for over 3,000 yards in his career at Furman and is a 4-year starter there. But his team ran the fear in college, so he's got a few adjustments to make to the pro ranks.
Plus, when he comes into a game, his team is trailing 26-0. It's 3rd down and 25, and they're expecting the passes. He's coming in under the most difficult circumstances, but I guess you get indoctrinated in a hurry that way, so Bart Starr gets a chance to see him under real fire.
3rd down, 25. Whitehurst back again. Got some protection. And it's Ollie Smith wide open. Ollie Smith with a 50-yard line. David Whitehurst, what a shot in the arm that's going to be for that young rookie on a 3rd and 25, getting the first down.
Well, Ollie Smith went back. Whitehurst went back, and he saw Smith coming across the center, put the ball right on the dime, and Plank made the sure tackle, but not before they got the first down. So the Packers have a chance to get on the board. You're going to see Doug Plank, 46, as he's dropping off in his free zone, reacts to it, and then comes up and makes the tackle, and it was a sure tackle. He went for the hips, got the arms around, and brought him down.
Just across the 50-yard line. On that pass completion, the first of the NFL career of rookie David Whitehurst.
Uh-oh, here they come.
They picked him up this time, though, and up the field, incomplete. Andre Thompson, the intended receiver, at the 36-yard line. Allen Ellis defending.
And you were right, Gary. They did pick up the blitz that time very well. The Bears blitzed 2 men, a safety blitz, and they never got through.
So the Packers now, I tell you, John, when you play on a football team, you just hate to get shut out, don't you?
Yes.
Boy, that's what they'd like to do, somehow get on this board.
Especially in professional football. You're supposed to be able to put points on the board.
Whitehurst now 1 of 3 for 32 yards. That pass completion of 32 yards. To Ollie Smith. Here they come again.
Watch out.
They picked it up pretty well. Whitehurst. This is Thompson. He's got it. First down. Andre Thompson from East Texas State, a 5th-round draft pick. He was on the injured reserve list last year.
The blitz the Packers' middle of the line picked it up as Whitehurst held his ground, hit Thompson, brought it in, and it's another first down. You can see the pressure, 46 on the safety blitz, and there was Colbreth making a nice block, and Plank could not get through in time to stop the pass.
Whitehurst throwing the ball very well. First down now at the 35-yard line of Chicago. Give up the middle. Here comes Colbreth to the 20. Hit hard there. Gary Finsick hit him. And two young rookies now, Colbreth and Whitehurst, giving the Packers a real lift.
And Colbreth was actually a second stringer at Oklahoma for much of the time. Nice running. Spivey missed the tackle, but Finsick makes it. But the Packers have a good chance now to get on the board to avert that shutout. 26-0 Chicago.
Our statistician Jim Palm indicating that was an 18-yard run by Colbreth, who had only 2 carries coming into the day. Now at the 17-yard line, the Packers on the move, coming close to the 2-minute warning. Whitehurst and a snap. He did not get the snap off in time. They took more than 30 seconds. Going to have a delay of game coming up. You could hear the crowd sensing it as they could see the clock ticking away. They're going to have 5 yards stepped off, and the 2-minute warning is here. So the Packers trying desperately to get on the scoreboard on the arm of this young man. Have a timeout. 26-0 they trail.
Stuntman. You get the bruises instead of the glory. You hit the deck and bite the dust till your bones ache. Then you pick yourself up and do it again.
Okay, cut! That's a wrap, everybody.
Let's go, buddy.
Boy, am I dry.
But now comes Miller time. Time to wrap it up and reach for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. When it's time to relax, we've got the beer. Miller beer.
David Whitehurst, number 17, who's really given this Packer crowd a lift with his play on this series, has moved the football to the 17-yard line of Chicago. 2 minutes remaining. Look at the first downs in this game.
Okay.
2 minutes left exactly as Whitehurst, looking at his backfield, he had Colbreth in there earlier, the young man from Oklahoma, Torkelson, number 26, Concar, their number 1 draft pick a year ago from the University of Colorado. Young offensive line, Cook, number 68, by the way, as you're looking at, is their number 2 pick in the second round out of Arkansas, and they feel, John, that he has a bright future.
These Packer fans are staying here. You would think at 26-0 that you might figure, oh, well, so they score a touchdown. But a touchdown is very important to everybody around here. You can tell that. And I think to Mr. Whitehurst, it's even more important.
Well, they just now stepped off that 5-yard penalty, so they moved the ball back out to the 22. And now we have a 1st and 15 for the Packers. 2 minutes left to go. Whitehurst back to throw. Very good protection. Throwing for the corner. Thompson. Blank was over there. Also, Doug Buffone. Double coverage in the coffin corner. Somebody just took our CBS banner. Well, not in the act. Now they're going to get it back from him.
Well, that plus a nickel get you a cup of coffee, huh?
He's going to walk off with it. All right. One of our affiliates, WBBM.
News Radio 78.
Yes, sir. Well, the double coverage that time. With 1:55 left to go in the game. Is there now, I guess, with 1:55. What do we got here, John? Are they exercising a 2-minute warning now? They had it earlier.
Well, we thought they had it earlier. Maybe they didn't.
They had 2 minutes remaining on the clock. Now there's 1:55, but we have another delay right now as Doug Buffone and also Don Reeves go to the sideline, and here's Whitehurst returning to the huddle. There's Jack Pardee. I tell you, Pardee, being the linebacker he was in his career, can really help this pair of men.
That's right up his alley. Something like this seems like there's a lot of strategy going on here at the end of this game. There haven't been too many shutouts in the history of the Packers and Bears. In fact, up here there have been 48 games and 4 ties. There have been 24 wins by the Bears, 24 wins by the Packers at Lambeau Stadium.
John, let's look ahead a little bit. Next Saturday, right here on the Championship Saturday, we're going to have tennis, women's tennis. Chrissy Everett, Virginia Wade, Billie Jean King, Martina Navratilova, Betty Stova. That's going to be finals now, televised live from Mission Hills. Tony Trabert will be on hand for that. And then the World Middleweight Boxing Championship. Rodrigo Valdez and Benny Briscoe, number 1 and 2 ranked middleweight contenders. 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central and Pacific, right here on CBS. Second down, 15. Whitehurst back to throw. He's going to run it to the 20, the 15. He cuts his way down inside the 10. And the crowd here is loving it. David Whitehurst, who we knew was an excellent runner, moves the ball inside the 10. The Packers have called timeout.
Well, it was just he started to roll out. He got some pressure from the left side and decided, well, I'm going to tuck the ball under as Jeff Seavey, 75, chases him all the way. Seavey comes in from behind. Whitehurst gets away, and there's 75 still there to make the tackle. But Whitehurst got down. They have a 3rd and 2 situation, of which they must make, and a chance to score with 1:41 left in the game as he's back to the sidelines to talk to Zeke Bratkowski and Bart Starr.
That was a 13-yard run by this young man.
You better watch it. He'll be a running back next week.
Well, the Packers have had a tough time, John. As you know, they're last in all of the National Football League in rushing. And today, their best effort by Barty Smith, 54 yards. Other than that, they've been completely under 20 yards, the rest of them. Looking ahead now to the CBS Sports Spectacular. The Laurel Racecourse in Maryland. We're going to have the 26th running of the Washington, D.C. International on a 1.5-mile grass course. And then this is something that's really interesting. The world's strongest men, John. We're going to have the automobile tire toss. 35 pounds in weight, 28 inches in diameter. They're going to throw it like it's a discus.
Well, there's no automobile tire that I can think of that weighs 35 pounds.
Maybe it's a truck tire.
Maybe it has the rim involved, too. I don't know.
Well, that's the 5th event of that decathlon, the tire toss.
It sounds like fun.
4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central Pacific. Whitehurst now 3rd down 2, just inside the 10. This is Colbreth. Colbreth is going to make it to about the 8-yard line, and that's all. That play didn't develop very quickly. Now it's 4th down. 4th down coming up.
They're very close to the first down. They may have measurement, not quite. They went to the outside on a 3rd and 2 situation, and what happened was, see that hesitation to come back to the side. He could have gotten the first down, but he's trying to go for more than the first down. So they're going to have a 4th down situation.
4th down and really about a half yard to go. There's your time on the screen, 1:30. The Packers using another timeout. 1:30 remaining. 116th meeting. There's been so many great games in the history of this classic. The Packers swept the Bears in 72. Last year, the Bears sweeping the Packers. First time since Johnny Morris and that crew won the championship in 1963. The ball is marked at the 8-yard line. Whitehurst returns to the huddle. Next week, the Packers against Kansas City, and also the Bears go against an AFC team, the Houston Oilers, in the Astrodome. 4th down, a yard to go. Whitehurst giving off to Colbreth. He's in trouble. And so what was a very impressive effort by the Packers comes to a stop at the 10-yard line.
Well, the reason it happened, Gary, was they went outside again 2 times in a row with less than 2 yards. They're going outside. Of course, they're trying to go all the way, but if you want to get that sure first down, you got to QB it, or you got to dive over and get the first down and take your timeout and go for the touchdown. But
The Bears have the ball now, and fans, it's all over. All they have to do is run the clock out.
That was Mike Spivey who made the tackle on Culbreth, as Mike Phipps comes in to run the team with 1:23 remaining. With 1:23 left, 26-0. At the 10-yard line, this is Robin Earl trying to go wide, and the big guy is wrestled down for a yard gain at the 11-yard line. But the story today has been number 34, Walter Payton, 23 carries, 205 yards. His longest run of 58 yards. He scored 2 touchdowns. And the Bears have had a real luxury today. They have not had to use Wally Chambers. As you can see, part of this capacity crowd now starting to file out of Lambeau Field. They've also been able to rest Roland Harper. He has not had to play today. It's been Musso and Payton, now Robin Earl. Second down, 9. Here comes Art Best, and Best is across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Time ticking away. Johnny Gray, Ezra Johnson making the tackle.
Stopped by Johnny Gray.
The Bears probably won't even take, they might get this last play off, but they're going to take their time. 15 seconds to go. And I'm going to leave you and go downstairs. Hopefully we're going to have a post-game interview, Gary.
All right, the NFL today will be following as this game is winding down here at Lambeau Field, and it's all over. The Chicago Bears have won the 116th meeting between the two clubs. A convincing 26-0 win here in Lambeau Field.
Five on the 50-yard line!
Hey, Charlie, it was cold last night. You put in a Prestone antifreeze?
Prestone. Who needs Prestone?
Prestone? You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone, too, to prevent corrosion and freeze-ups.
Prestone. We need Prestone.
Prestone. You need Prestone.
Come on, old trademark. Time for your walk. What's the hurry? I know where we're going. To where your family began. With the same Levi's blue jeans worn by this man. Hey, you've come quite a ways, little registered Mark. Now that I see these guys by the park dressed in your newest edition, sums it up right there. Levi's sportswear. Trademark, I know what you'd say if you could. Levi's don't have to be blue. Just have to be good.
Right now, New Orleans is driving against Los Angeles with time running out in the Superdome. The Saints could pull that one out. Let's get you up to date on the games that are now in progress. Baltimore leading Pittsburgh by 10 and make it now 16-0. Roosevelt Leaks has scored in that game, but he has also been injured again, and now he is out, but the Colts are rolling. Oakland and Denver, the big showdown in Denver, and the Raiders lead it in the second quarter by 7 points. Seattle and Buffalo. Lowly Buffalo having trouble against a second-year team, 14-3 in the second quarter. San Francisco has jumped ahead of Tampa Bay. Of course, the Buccaneers still desperately trying to get that first victory. And here's the score. Fourth quarter, time running out. Saints are now driving, 26-24. Rams are ahead in that game. The story there, Muncie didn't start, now he's in doing good. Dallas rolling to its 7th straight victory. They will be the only unbeaten team in the NFC. Detroit gave them no competition today. Chicago and Green Bay, the game that you watched, of course, the Bears blanked the Packers 26-0 in that 205-yard day by Payton. On the game's final play, James Harris ran a keeper and scored for the Chargers 14-13 as time ran out. The New York Jets and the New England Patriots, the Patriots coming on strong now, 24-13, the final score there. Wesley Walker dropped what could have been a touchdown pass in that game, and now I see that the Saints are setting up to kick a field goal that would put them ahead in that game. Cleveland beating Kansas City 44-7. Revenge for what happened a year ago. Houston and Cincinnati go overtime today. 13-10. Final. How about that field goal attempt now by hit the crossbar, and I think ricocheted across. It looks good. They've gone wild down in the Superdome. It's 27-26 right now, New Orleans. Washington, final over Philadelphia, 23-17. The story there, Joe Theismann. He starts today. He pumps some life into that offensive attack. Minnesota a winner, 14-7, but they had to battle for that one all the way, and they pull it out. So again, it is 27 right now to 26. New Orleans ahead of Los Angeles. And the NFL Today will continue on CBS in just a moment.
Down the Columbia, the Willamette, the Siuslaw, from the great renewable forests, they come. Logs. Logs to build a better America. And Homelight is there. Homelight, the king. Rugged as the men who run him. Men who fell the mighty fir and see it rise again. When the time in your life comes to get a chainsaw, get the king. Homelight, the chainsaw king.
Whose reputation for quality parts is over half a century old? Where can you find over 100,000 parts, many of them better than your car's original parts? And who also supplies those parts to over 50,000 professional mechanics? Now, who should you see for quality parts? NAPA, that's N-A-P-A. We help keep America moving.
New England added the extra point, or I should say Baltimore added the extra point, so now they lead Pittsburgh by 17 points. San Francisco has scored again, and they lead Tampa Bay by a score of 14-0. And Phyllis, do we have somebody ready now out in Green Bay?
I certainly hope we do, and I tell you what, this man, Walter Payton, certainly deserves to be talked to today. He carried the ball 23 times for phenomenal, as you said earlier, 205 yards and 2 TDs, and Irv pointed out that he is leading the league 858 yards, and he's light years above everyone else. I think you said McCutcheon came in second. Let's talk to him. I'm anxious to hear if he even knows he's that far ahead. Johnny Morris, are you ready for us? Ready for us? Ready.
Gave all those nice statistics, so I won't go through them again, Walter. 205 yards, that ties a Bears record. You got to be a happy gentleman this evening.
I am, Johnny, because as I was a kid and I watched Gil Sears play with the Bears, he was my idol, and everything that he did on the field, you know, I just idolized it. And to come out here today in the same field and to accomplish this defeat, it just makes me feel good all over.
Well, the running game went so well against the Packers here. Everybody ran well. Did you do anything different, or were the guys just blocking a lot better than they did against Atlanta last week?
That's it, Johnny. As we went over the films of the Atlanta game, we just looked at it in about 5 or 6 plays where it's just a matter of inches where we could have broken for long gainers, 60 or 70 yarders, and that would have been the difference of the game. And this past week, we just worked on our blocking techniques a little more, and it paid off today.
Now, you go about 5'10", 205 pounds. That's not real big, and you go in the middle of the line, you go around the ends. Do you mind carrying the ball that much?
Well, you know, those guys up front, you know, they make it a lot easier for me because they're getting their blocks and they're sustaining their blocks, and believe me, you could do it. You could just walk through there.
No, I don't think so, Walter. How about the Bears now? They were 2-4. You had a couple of bad losses. You're 3-4. Do you still feel you have a chance to get to catch those Vikings?
I think so, because Minnesota, they got a tough schedule coming up, and we're just getting into the thick of ours, and the guys are really coming around, so we still got a chance. Don't count the Bears out.
Well, you know, a lot of backs, great runners, have not been traditionally great blockers. You are an excellent blocker. Did you decide a long time ago that you were going to block for somebody who's blocking for you, or how did that come about? How did you become such a good blocker?
Well, Johnny, it goes along with the position. You can't be a good running back on one phase of the game and fall down in the other phase. So if you can't do it all over, well, you're not a good running back. So I made up in my mind that if I was going to block just as good as I run.
Okay, Walter, thanks a lot. Best of luck, and you had a fantastic game. You now have 14 100-yard performances in a 3-year career, and you can't do much better than that. Thanks, Walter.
Thank you.
Now let's go back to CBS Control in New York with Brent Musburger and Phyllis and Irv.
Thank you very much. Hey, Walter's a nice young man.
Really is. Terrific guy, and he's so humble about all this. He said if you had those guys out there in front of you, you could do it too. I think that's a great attitude.
2 minutes and 24 seconds to go down in the Superdome, and again, New Orleans leads the Los Angeles Rams 27-26. We'll be back with some highlights as the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment.
heard you're getting married. You gotta look great, so stop shaving. It's better to get stroked in the morning.
The Bic shaver?
The Bic shaver is so responsive it doesn't shave you, it strokes you.
I'm gonna get stroked like this every morning.
And the Bic shaver's cheaper than blades, yet it's a blade and handle in one.
Fred, marriage agrees with you.
Well, he really got stroked this morning.
The Bic shaver, lots of great shaves from just one Bic shaver. Then it's time for the next. So don't shave, get stroked in the morning.
I got enough to worry about. My hairline, my waistline. When it comes to my money, our money.
We let someone else help us do the worrying.
Our IDS representative. He worries about planning for our future. And that means not just life insurance, but investments and savings, too.
IDS, not just insurance, not just investments, but a financial plan designed especially for you. When it comes to your money, let us help you do the worrying. IDS, we help people manage money.
We've talked to Walter Payton. Let's see how well he runs, Joe.
Brent, you always say that a picture's worth 1,000 words, but you just wonder. Walter Payton does more things with football than I've ever seen a running back do. Of course, they beat the Green Bay Packers by a score of 26-0. This is only an 11-yard run, but watch the way he does it, demonstrating power and determination down to the 5-yard line, setting up a touchdown run by his teammate Johnny Musso, and Chicago took a 6-0 lead. It's Walter Payton again, number 34, who gained 205 yards today, making a tough run inside for a touchdown. Chicago 13-0. Walter Payton again, touchdown Chicago. Chicago went on to win the game 26-0. He's simply a gorgeous running back.
And there's a gorgeous team, the Dallas Cowboys. They're about to be 7-0. No trouble at all today with the Detroit Lions. And let's take a look at some of the highlights. Here's Herrera kicking a 45-yard field goal that made it 6-0. Mark Washington, he replaced Kyle, who was injured in the secondary for the Cowboys. They didn't lose much right there on that pass by Landry. He got back down to the Lions' 18-yard line. Here's Staubach going over the middle to his tight end Dupree, who busts into the end zone for 6. Detroit was able to make only 2 first downs in the first half of that game. Here's Mike Hagman intercepting Landry's pass. And from there, Staubach will throw back across the field. Here he is, Laidlaw. And good blocking, and suddenly it was 20-0 Dallas. Tony Dorsett, how did he do, all you fans of Walter Payton? Well, Dorsett is coming. 17 yards in the open field. Saldi caught the pass that gave them a touchdown in the fourth quarter right now. It is 37-0. The Dallas Cowboys are ahead of the Detroit Lions, and so that's going to wrap it up. The Dallas Cowboys will be 7-0 after this Sunday. And that wraps up our coverage today on CBS. For Irv Cross, Phyllis George, I'm Brent Musburger, and I hope you enjoyed the NFL Today on CBS, and we'll see you next Sunday.
The NFL Today is sponsored by Levi's. We put a little blue jean in everything we make. Ford and your Ford dealer, who invite you to see their better ideas for 78, including Fairmont, the Ford in your future. Magnavox touch-tune color television, computer sharp, computer fast. And by Mobil One synthetic motor oil, the oil that does it all. The NFL Today is a presentation of CBS Sports.